Please stay tuned for a public service announcement from the gentlemen of the Better Hit the Mat podcast.
Hit the Mat podcast.
You may be aware that this show is normally not safe for work because we are a bunch of childish potty mouths. But this week's show requires a further advisory warning. This show contains material that some viewers and or listeners may find just too damn sexy. If discussions about healthy sexual encounters, orgasm, and bedroom enhancement peripherals offend you, then we hear that Tom Stroka has a Twilight podcast that is very good. Thank you so much. Please sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 26 of Better Hit the Mat, allegedly a fitness podcast. I have my shark and a sparkling rosé this evening.
Ooh, pinky up.
Cheers, gentlemen. I remember the cheers for once.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Fucking adult Kool-Aid.
Oh, fancy.
It's so sweet. Excuse me. Yeah, not buying that again. So, how's everybody's week been? 2 weeks. Sorry, I blinked. It went.
It went for sure. Oh my God, we're back again.
It did go.
Who's first?
Yeah, crazy week. Work, mid-year inventory was like a 16-hour day.
Oh, bloody hell.
Just awful. Thankfully, I won't have to do that for like 6 months. But yeah,
Nice.
Otherwise, about the same as it always is. Work.
But you
family,
were like lifting
working out.
logs and shit yesterday or something? Or riding around the woodland?
Yeah, my wife and I did urban adventure games. It's the first time she's done it with me, second time I've ever done it. So it's easiest way to describe it is adult double dare with a bike race in between. It's put all over. I'm from the South Bend area, live in Osceola, but it takes place Notre Dame University, Mishawaka, Indiana, and South Bend, Indiana. You start in South Bend City, and you're given a map 30 minutes before the games start, and you have to develop your own route of how you're going to get to all these checkpoints based on little markers on a Google map.
Is that like a route?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
Pretty much. Yeah, we call it a route here. Weird. I don't know. It must just be one of those
Never gets old,
American Britain things. And it's traveled in miles, not kilometers, so can't break it down by tens like I normally do. So that was a little bit harder.
Because you're so good at that.
Yeah, fucking the best. Just carry the zero. But yeah, we did a lot of stuff. One thing it really does is it promotes the community first and foremost, shows you everything that the city has to offer. I think so often this area is kind of just recognized as the home of Notre Dame University, and that there's not a lot going on if it's not a home game weekend. And really, like yesterday, I went whitewater rafting. I saw there's a bicycle shop in downtown South Bend that will take donations. They have eight bicycle stands, and they'll take donated bikes and they fix them up on their dime and give them to people that are willing to work and need transportation. If you don't have a bike to donate, you can bring your bike down there and they show you how to fix it for free. They give you all the parts, all the tools, all the lubricants. They want people to embrace that. We got to learn about Girls on the Run, which is a program that takes kids from 3rd to 5th grade girls and teaches them positivity and female self-empowerment through cheer and running. And really excited for Ellie to be able to take a look at that in a couple of years. We had to make up our own cheer, so I totally did the diamond cutter, and literally just the call for diamond cutter. It was a quick, easy. We had it, knocked it out. Laura knew it because she's heard me say it a billion times. And
give me a D.
Exactly. Went to the food bank, and you had to find $5. That's kind of a scavenger hunt thing. You had to find $5 worth of certain produce, and then find a vendor and you had to like haggle a price for it, and then that went straight to the food bank. So it was like part supermarket sweep part, you know,
Nice.
just kind of helping out your community. Went
What
to a
great
CrossFit.
idea.
How do you
went to a
haggle for that?
CrossFit
What do you
box.
say? You say, hey,
Huh?
you cheap bastard, give me these. I'm taking these to the food bank, you cheap bastard. What do you?
That's right. $5, 10 peppers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Went to a CrossFit box, and there was you know, a bunch of different things you could do, or you could lift a 170-pound log over your head, just a clean press up, and you know, skip everything. Went to the Civic Theater and got to go on stage and do props, and you know, the whitewater rafting was my favorite part. Laura hated it because she hates fresh water and absolutely hated getting soaked. And oh my gosh, when we signed up for this, it was like one teammate is going to probably get wet, so be prepared for that. We get there and they're like, no, it takes 2 people. You won't get that wet, except for it's literally whitewater rapids, and holy shit. And they're like, oh, if you fall out, just get back in.
Yeah, you might as well just fucking
Nice.
swim.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was a ton of fun. Got to go to the firefighter station where they train all the area firefighters, and they for some reason made Laura carry the fucking saws for Jaws of Life. So she had to carry the hand saw and then basically the cement saw and the jaw of life, and she had to fucking dual wield that bitch all the way around the station. And she's like, I can't lift one of these. How am I going to lift 2? Well, I'm pulling a fire hose. That's what my job was. I had to pull a fire hose. And then we got to put out a car fire though, so that was pretty awesome.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
But just it's really cool, and it really shows you what the city has to offer on top of just Notre Dame football. And there was, I think there was 350 people, so 175 teams in 3 divisions. There's Fun Division, Open Division, which is what Laura and I did, and then there's the Elite Division. Every division, as you move up, have more opportunity to do stuff. I think Fun Division had 17 different checkpoints. Some of them overlap with Open or Elite. Open had 22, and then Elite, I think, had 27. Like as an Elite Division rider, you're going to put maybe 35 to 40 miles on your bike. Open is between 16 to 25 depending on your route, and then Fun is like you're going to get maybe 9 to 12 miles put in. But yeah, it was a ton of fun. Got to play some Tippy Cup. Still got it. Haven't played it in like a decade. Still killing it. That college degree is paying off.
Heck yeah.
And no running.
No, there can be a bit of running. Laura did the running. There was a thing we had to do where I had to Velcro a cup on my head, and then I had to go down to some bucket. It was like a 20-meter run, and she had to take a big sponge and put it in a bucket and fill it up with water and dash to me and then squeeze out my head, and you had to fill the cup all the way up, and then I had to dash back in a certain amount of time and then make that fill up. So that's about as much as we ran.
That's 100% double dare right there.
Yeah, that is double dare.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like, and there's
The only thing missing a bunch of baked beans.
right. Yep, absolutely, and digging for some flags.
Some snot.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Speaking of double dare, there is a TV shows that made us or something, or it was some Nickelodeon documentary is what it was, and they were talking about in the pilot episode of Double Dare. Are you familiar with Double Dare, Boz? Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, sort of.
Okay,
Sort
it's
of
like
eons ago.
It would be
yeah.
kids and families challenging each other. Well, in the very pilot episode, there's this thing where it's a big nose and it's filled with the famous Nickelodeon slime, and you had to dig into the nose and find an orange flag to hand it to your partner to go on to the next one. On the pilot episode, the fucking assistant forgot to put the flag in. So they get to the nose and they're digging, and the team loses because they can't move on. And they're like, yeah, so we went back and checked the nose. Huh? Yeah, and nobody put a flag in there. Brilliant.
That's awesome.
But all in all, it was a ton of fun. A little bit sore today, but it's always worth it. So, yeah, I can't wait to do it again next year.
Anyone do anything half as cool?
No, not me. Well, I just finished up some certification processes. Hayden has my L2 videos.
Ooh,
finished
nice.
up our Science of Stretching. Sent those videos in as well. Well, the video rather. So yeah, that was the only thing.
Weird name choice.
Well, it's better than gravity yoga.
You think?
Yeah, gravity yoga makes people think you're hanging from the ceiling and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that, but science.
It's a lot more catchy, though.
Stretching is also pretty dumb.
If you're trying to set yourself apart from Yin Yoga, I mean that's basically what he's trying to do. You know,
I'm surprised that you can trademark it, even if I'm not sure you can.
Well, no, flexibility coach is the trademark, and it's flexibility coach, the science of stretching.
Yeah.
So And it kind of is doing what it says on the tin. It is a scientific approach to trying to get your stretching better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, I'll tell you what,
Stretching is more of a tagline than a name brand, though. Is kind of what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I had
it
a
absolutely
session.
is the tagline.
Yeah.
I did a 30-minute intro session with Justin the other night, and he told me that it's the best that his legs and hips have felt since he's basically lost weight.
I don't doubt it.
Cool.
Yeah, it does get rid of the tightness, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what its name. Shit works.
It does. It does. And
Yes.
people seem to enjoy it, and that's the.
Stretching works.
I think that's the main thing. Is
Yeah.
the reason we're doing this is, I mean, I started doing it mainly because my roundhouse kick is shit, and I've been at it for years, and it doesn't get any better. So clearly, the stuff I'm doing is not working for that. And then when I saw this, I thought, well, give that a go. It is getting higher. It's slow, but it's. I've had other
You're not
benefits
supposed to
along
kick
the
up
way.
that fast.
Well, also
Just-
too, the difference
my leg's heavy,
between
that's
that
the
and
problem.
DDPY is that we're always under tension in DDPY. We never relax in DDPY. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a huge difference between the two. Is you're able to actually relax and get into the stretch.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily tension either, but sometimes it's the length. It feels like the only time you're in extended positions is if it's like a plank almost. Otherwise, rarely are you stagnant. But that's also kind of the idea of keeping that heart rate elevated and keeping it high.
Yeah.
So it's kind of counterintuitive as well. But it's like it's okay to kind of let some things breathe a little bit, and finding that
I let
fine line.
twisted
I think
lunge.
that's what I love about Mabes. Yeah, I know your twisted lunges have gotten a lot longer.
Thanks to Jim
A
Mabes.
whole lot longer than what they used to be. You would hold, you do a 10-second talk, and then I count back from maybe 5, and now you're doing a lot more.
Oh yeah, it's 5 to 7 good breaths easy in twisted
Yeah.
lunge, easy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
because you've got the DDPY is a lot of time under tension, and then the flexibility training we do is time under passive tension. That's the difference. So I thought it was the perfect complement to the two systems, and they do blend pretty well.
Yes.
So good luck, man. I'm sure you got it. Sure you nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
Thank you. Tom, what'd you do?
Nothing. No comment. Next
Just
person.
worked. Just
This
worked.
This has been a miserable week of work. It's a lot of work, but
Yeah.
all good. I had a little bit of this area, I'm telling you, man. So I don't know how COVID is in the UK, but I was in urgent care this weekend. I had a little bit of a medical emergency that I had to take care of. And I walked in there and there's cars everywhere. And I'm the only person in the urgent care. So I'm, guys, like, where is everybody? There's 8 COVID cases in that friggin' urgent care
Wow.
on last Sunday. And I'm like, God, they were through this. So they're bringing masks back in our area for a lot of different businesses and stuff like that. My business, we still when wearing masks, we're a medical facility, but things are just kind of lighting up here again. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, my area is
Well,
starting to see it again. They're talking about rolling it back out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's bad.
Just a lot
But
more
we
not getting
opened-
vaccinated.
Yeah, we opened everything up, let everybody, all restrictions off. You don't have to wear a mask. All the screens are coming down. No social distancing. Some places are keeping policy, but the general thing is, no, it's all fine now. So, of course, cases have tripled.
They don't give a
Up and up.
shit in Carolina. We're not social distancing. We're punching people in the fucking mouth now. So
True.
True. Well, they say that there are a few things that can that can prevent COVID. It's Moderna, Pfizer, J&J, and face punching. So
And ignorance, yes.
face punching seems to be the key. Works best.
6 feet, motherfucker.
So cheap, too. The cheapest thing you can get. It's not costing anything to anybody.
Bruise their fucking lip, and maybe they'll put a mask on.
That's it.
We could just poke them in the eye. That works too.
Yeah, just
There
knock
you
their
go.
fucking
There you go.
teeth out to wear a mask.
And then go walk, 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 walk.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I had a pretty cool couple of weeks. I had a week off work and did as
Really?
little as possible. Yes, for once.
So
I-
no blinds got installed across the UK.
No, I did. Well,
one.
I took 5 days off and did 1 day of work, so I think that was a pretty good holiday for me. So
Nice.
yeah, I get 1 day at home to basically, this is my gaming day. I'm going to put my VR on and I'm going to just kill things. And I get a phone call, somebody installing one of my jobs, and some of the clips are bad. So it's like, yeah, I got to come out to you then, haven't I? So I made the best of it. I got on the bike and I rode over. And at the end of the week, I went and I test rode. I have now, ladies and gentlemen, after all my disparaging, if you know me, I call them hardly rideables. I've never ridden one, so that's a really unfair assessment. But I'd never ridden a Harley Davidson. I test rode a Harley Davidson.
Oh.
I've even got the guy was so keen for me to buy one. I have his card.
Ooh.
And the brochure for the Pan
What
America.
style? What style did you drive?
That one.
Well, I can barely see it. Is that the?
That is the Pan
Is that like
America.
It's the
Okay.
two-wheeler version, Travis.
They basically Harley invented the adventure bike space, and I'm an adventure bike rider, so I'm like, I'm going to try that shit. The thing I was interested in is a lot of people can't ride an adventure bike because they're so tall at the seat. So what Harley have done is when the bike is stopped and the engine is running, it lowers the seat down on the suspension. You get on it, you ride away, and as you ride, it comes back up.
That's pretty cool.
That's very clever. Unfortunately, reputation did prove true, and the gearbox is like someone just got a metal box and emptied a load of spanners into it and went like that. It's the most uncomfortable gearbox I've ever used. But other than that, I really enjoyed riding it, actually. I had a lot of fun. But the same day, I also test rode the new Ducati V4 Multistrada, which is just the dog's nuts of motorcycles, so there was no contest.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, the dog's bollocks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So dog's nuts are cool, huh?
yeah the dog's bollocks. It's the best.
The
It's
bollocks.
Yeah.
Your riding videos gave me so much anxiety. I'm like, get on the right side of the fucking road, man.
I got a cameraman. Welcome to Boz's Bike Reviews. This is the third one I've ever done. This is the new Ducati Multistrada 4S, the non-slash paint job version, and it's a Ducati that doesn't feel like it's about to fall apart. Option. Blind spot sensors. They at first I wasn't sure, but mine did a bit of playing with position, and it reads the blind spot before it becomes an issue.
Hello, ladies.
In terms of could I ride that all day? Yes, and it feels more like a sports bike than any other adventure I've ridden. But arguably that's not really an adventure, is it? Is it? You make your own mind up. Yeah. That engine, bastard fast. There you go. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh, I was sweating. I was
That was just
sweating.
me testing the stability of my new phone camera, but yeah, it's kind of fun to do that.
Turned out
Well, the
pretty good.
windshield bothered me the most. Clean
Yes,
that
that's
windshield.
true.
We're not savages.
Yeah, I know. It's mine is like that.
Boz,
So it's
he
like a
means- he
wall.
means the windscreen.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just making sure that you understood.
We just call it a screen on a bike, so it's not so confusing.
Well, it's not. It's actually not a screen in the sense of a screen will allow air to flow through. In that sense.
Okay. And then another cool stuff. Yesterday, we had the first ever back on track in-person physical meetup, and people we've been working with for over a year on Zoom, who we've never met in real life. One of which being the mighty Highlander, Mr. Steve Highland.
Nice.
It was so weird to meet him in person and then realize, yeah, this has never happened, has it? But I'm so used to seeing him.
Right.
It was just really odd. So yeah, it was not as many as hoped. COVID got in the way of that a little bit. Our buddy Grant was supposed to join us and he couldn't, so that was pretty sad. But
How far are you away from everyone?
varies. Some people traveled 2 hours. For most people, it was an hour or less. So
Okay.
Lee and his is it wife, fiance, girlfriend? I don't know.
Charlie,
They travel regularly, do they not? I mean, I think they've got like a van that they.
Yeah, they
travel
just
through.
got into a van not too long ago.
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got a camper van. They just go and park it somewhere and stay out. So they came from Anglesey, which is about 5 hours from here, but they went via home and then came down. So it was lovely to meet them. So we did in fact, when Trav did his meet the other week, I was looking at the video and going, why is he facing away from his class? I'm like, oh, he's teaching on Zoom. And then, of course, we had to do exactly the same thing. Have everyone behind us and face the camera. So
Yeah.
for those who, to get their normal Saturday class, did it a bit later. So we had some on camera, some behind us. And it was just really nice to hang out, compare notes. We did some... Do you know what was nice? It was the first physical class I've taught in well over a year. And it was just nice to go around people who I've had on screen. You can correct them a certain amount, but just go, yeah, just tuck the elbow in, just bring those shoulders down, just a little bit of a tweak here and there. It was just great to do
Steve,
that
pop
again.
that ass a little bit more, buddy.
Yeah.
Pop it. Just pop that ass.
Just
Keep
bring your
popping.
bring your beard slightly forward, Steve. It's in the way.
beard to the toes, ass up.
Drop it, pop it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that was super fun. So yeah, we're definitely going to do
awesome.
that again.
That's awesome.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so professional narration. Drop it and pop it.
Trying to keep nice and low key today.
There you go.
I was just waiting for the beep to tell me to turn to the page.
We were supposed to do 2 workouts, but we knew the weather was touch and go, and we left all the mats out and stuff. Then it was like I'd put a gazebo up to hide under, and we just sort of get into the time of the next workout, and the heavens opened. We just another drink, anyone?
That's good to do it.
But we got one in, and to be honest, it was for me. It was much more about the social element, getting to know each other. It's
Absolutely
so cool to meet DDPY types in real life. So
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so
Especially to
do
be able
more
to
of that.
gather them there when it's kind of comes from here, and and to see it, especially that many people in that tight of an area.
Well,
kind
it's
of be able to
tiny
come
here,
together.
isn't it? Most,
Right.
most things are reachable, and we're a bit more central now than we were. We were quite down south, so we're more reachable for most people. So, and our garden's quite big, so
It is.
we had about 5 mats there.
Tom, by garden, he means yard. Okay.
Okay, garden.
Yes.
I never know the garden. Having tea in the garden, I never understand what that means. Apparently, it's going.
Yeah, it's,
Pissing in the yard, is that what that means? Yeah.
What do you call the area you grow vegetables?
A vegetable plot,
A plot.
Interesting.
or a bed,
plot.
or an allotment. If that an allotment's a different thing entirely. That's a
Oh,
piece of land
'cause,
you
like,
rent
literally,
away from
we
your
would
premises.
have a garden in our backyard.
Okay, right, yeah.
That's where.
Oh, see, we would call that. So if you're one of these people with lots of space, you have this is the lawn area and this is the vegetable garden.
Fair enough.
Okay, that's very similar. Yeah, that's nice.
So I have a vegetable garden in my garden, but I don't because I'm lazy and I hate gardening.
I have to get a new garden drainage for my septic, which is awful and expensive and stupid. Dirt costs a lot of fucking money.
It
Sure
does.
as hell does.
Still,
Dirt,
it's so
fucking
expensive.
rocks.
It's everywhere, and it's so expensive.
Yep.
It's
dirt and
literally
rocks.
everywhere. We're surrounded by it every day, and it's expensive.
They're like, it's a special kind of soil. I'm like, it's
No, it's
shit.
not.
Fuck that.
It's called Earth. You move some from here to here. You put it in the
Yeah.
fucking ground.
That guy just got a basement. Give me all his shit. Like, come on now.
The dirt's actually free. It's just the truck that's bringing the shit.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
more than likely.
Absolutely.
that's just reminded me of a fun podcast story. Like the network I first got involved with in podcasting, and they had one sponsor ever that actually paid money for us to run adverts every week. This is before Rogan was doing it or anyone, and the
I love
company
that
was
you
called. This is gonna be a
always
free
fucking
plug.
shade him.
This is going to be a free plug. This is Barger and Sons Septic Tanks. So the adverts on the network were hilarious because it's just how could you talk about a septic tank? Go to Barger and Sons, get a big room for poo. That's some brilliant ones.
Sure.
We have a company here, and I've never used them, but I can tell you their name because their name is also their phone number and their signs on every fucking telephone pole, and it's 254 poop. And they do septic, and literally when your septic tank needs to be drained, they're not even like really that well respected, but everybody calls them because you see that fucking sign everywhere. It says nothing else other than that. It's a yellow sign with black writing, 254 poop.
And the truck
talking to
says,
my
we're
new
number
neighbor
one
across-
and number two.
Yeah. That's there's in Grand Rapids where I used to live. There's a couple of Calvin graduates. It's a university up there, and they're engineering students, and they figured out a way to they manufactured the mechanism that most trash trucks now use that pick up the dumpsters and dump them for you. They manufactured that. They basically invented it. And I don't remember the name of the company, but I know the tagline is putting our degrees to good use. Or no, putting our degrees to waste was their fucking their tagline. Because they literally got bachelor's degrees and then went into trash.
Yeah.
So,
Fantastic.
but it's good money. You can't outsource it. You can't
Yeah.
Not at all.
you can't bring
Money.
in a third country and say, hey, take care, maybe barge it out, but as far as the actual removal of it, domestically, it's a good industry to be in.
Yeah.
So it ain't going anywhere.
It's fascinating. If you ever see
a
how they
random
process
segue.
trash, it's crazy. Like
Oh,
it's
it's unreal.
unbelievable, and they do it every single day. Like, how are we not running out
And
of
there's
space?
so much waste, dude.
So much.
Good thing the ocean's big.
That's why I just dump all my shit out there. I just throw it out there.
Gotta take out the trash. You see
Every-
him swinging it.
Every Sunday after the podcast, I'm just taking my trash, just throwing it right in there.
That Olympic hammer training came in handy.
Exactly.
That's it.
Oh, amazing.
Well, guys, I want to segue into last week's guest with Matt because we're talking about advertising and the power of these friggin' phones. So after our podcast, the first thing I did was I went through Facebook, and guess what? Every single advertising was for cryotherapy places. So I booked a cryotherapy session 5 minutes after our podcast. We had 5 advertising that came right after, all local places, all with like $30 intro specials. So I've got it booked for next week. So we'll probably do some footage there. It'd be fun to share with you guys. But
I'm hoping to get in this week with one here locally.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
Oh, damn that. I need to book as well, so we could just we'll do a compendium of videos.
All right. I guess I'll do it too.
Get on it.
Do they have anything out there like that out there, Travis?
I'm sure they do.
I mean, how far is your biggest city? Like, how far away?
Yeah, Greensboro you can get into.
Oh, yeah. Greensboro's 20 minutes.
Okay. Where's your biggest, like, hypermarket, superstore, Walmart, whatever? How far is that?
Me?
Yeah.
25 minutes.
There you go. They just lock you in the freezer for 20 minutes. Just do 20 minutes instead of 3. It'll work out the same, I'm sure.
You guys good if I just, like, go fill your ice cream?
That was my college job. So in optometry school, med school, you have to sign a contract saying you can't work like you can't work a job because you're supposed to be always doing school. And so I found a job at Walmart in the middle of the night. No one could find me there. So I stocked ice cream every single night at Walmart. What a cast of characters of people you work with. Overnight shift at Walmart's. Yeah, fun time. I had a blast though. It was great. I mean, got paid decent money and no one ever found me. So it was good.
But that's a thing for real. So how do you live then?
They give you student loan money to live on.
You're just supposed to overborrow. Fuck that.
100%. Yep.
Same
Wow.
That's exactly the problem with our.
Yeah, they see the
started off on
curriculum.
foot.
The curriculum's so intense, and I mean, we're doing,
I get it.
4-year degree in a year and a half the first year, right? So it's, I guess, to reduce distraction and stuff like that. But I was like, I got to work. They have like student loan jobs, but it's like prison jobs. It's just like you don't get paid much money, and it just goes right back to them. So Walmart all the way, baby.
Hell yeah.
I'll
Good
tell
old
you
Sam
guys
Walton, small business
off
owner.
air, my last day at work, how I got removed from Walmart. So you guys will love that story. That's off air though.
Say that again?
Yes, please.
I have an off air story to tell you guys afterwards.
Speaking of cryotherapy, Matt was awesome to have. I actually really went back. I went back and I listened to the episode. I usually watch it before I do everything, but going back and listening, just the casualness in which he talks about what he does is unreal. Like I know I commented on it, but to hear him do it, you can even hear it where it's like it's routine. It is. And it's amazing the stuff he does. And I love that you're like, this is serious shit, guys. You kind of pointed that out because he's not lauding it like it's that big of a deal. And maybe it isn't amongst his peers in the ultra community, but for somebody who like, I'm like, shit, man, a 5K? No way. And the fact that like, that's just, that's like the bare minimum he's going to do is it's amazing.
Yeah, that's his warm up. That's what he does to get his body ready to go for a run.
I love that no kidding. I loved that you interspersed the videos, Boz, of his 4x4x48. Just he's like, we're 3 miles in, all still doing good. And then he's like, we're 42 miles in. If you guys want to come run with us, we'll be here for another 8 hours.
Not going anywhere.
And they were because he was constantly posting from that event. So his Instagram stream is in line. So I was able to just scroll up, and they just put the scroll up on the video. It worked brilliant. So just
incredible.
I'm still waiting for an email from his boss though. Still haven't heard anything. Thank God.
That original title, man, that would have been a great one. But
it would have been great.
I didn't want to get him in any kind of hot water.
Oh, okay.
So Matt, I saw a video on YouTube came up in my recommendations. Oh yeah.
I had this picture of a T-shirt.
Oh, fantastic!
But no, you're right. He makes it sound like and to be honest, that nonchalance kind of worked on me up until the point I was editing the show. When I was editing it, I was. When you're in show mode, I'm driving the boards, I'm like, I'm kind of going with the flow. And then I think about it a lot more when I'm editing, and I'm like, that's a really fucking long way. And I like that only sunk in then, really. Like you say, it's because he's so like chill about it. It's amazing.
I mean, the fact that he did a 10-hour and I'm watching powerlifting and they're doing
Olympics
clean and jerk. Yes.
Right.
And Korean athlete just went to go up, and she almost dropped the bar on her neck. She went backwards. It was.
Oh God.
Oh, damn. Whew. Okay, so don't lift weights, folks.
Small margin of error with powerlifting, and that's a real deal thing. Gravity does not.
Yeah.
Gravity wins every time.
Every single time.
Every time.
Okay, so but just man, I literally lost track. Oh, I mean, he ran for 10 hours and 37 minutes. Like it's hard to watch TV for 10 hours.
It's hard to be
Right?
awake for that long.
You can do anything for 10 hours? Like,
Right.
I mean,
continuously?
I can barely
Like
drive.
think about going on a 10-hour road trip. That's a
Right.
nightmare. Like what a shit day of
Yeah,
that.
every 2 hours I'm like, Robin, it's your turn to drive.
And he just moved for 10 hours and
Wow.
37 minutes.
In one direction, forward.
Oh man, I would hope not. You get out,
Quickly.
you're like, oh shit, I gotta run back.
I gotta go backwards now.
Like Forrest Gump,
no.
where he goes, "What do you want to do now?" I guess I'm gonna go
Well,
home.
that's the only reason I feel like I finished the one and only half marathon that I ran, because I was in mile 8 or mile 9, and I thought, I'm fucking done. And I thought, well, shit, you got to get back to your truck, knucklehead. So keep running, right? I mean, have to finish.
Yeah, that's good motivation.
Otherwise, they abandon you. They just leave you there. That's all the.
Exactly.
Just stay right
Exactly.
there.
I meant to ask
Later,
him though.
dude.
I meant to ask him though. Does on those long distances, does he fall or has he ever fallen? Because I did fall one time in my half marathon, and it was so fucking wild because my momentum, I just kept going. I kind of just tucked my shoulder, rolled my ass, came over my shoulders, my feet hit, and I just stood up and just kind of kept on
Bounced straight
trucking. Yeah.
Did you
You're-
fall
you're
because of
like-
fatigue, or do you fall because of like what happened? You tripped? or-
My foot. It was through a trail area, so I caught a bit of a root. Yeah, and it was, my feet were heavy as fuck. It was like mile 10.
yeah.
You know? I was
Wow.
like, yeah.
But
And luckily,
Popeye-
no one saw me. I was kind of in an area where I was by myself, and I was like, bloop, blip, and just kept on going, looking
No,
around.
see, that's where you know, man. It's a shame nobody saw you because
Yeah.
You see that motherfucker? He just
Star
ducked,
points.
rolled, kept going. James
You
Bond.
finished that race. Oh man.
Hey, speaking of tucking and rolling, holy shit, Ryan! When I was doing my forearm stands the other day, my feet and waist went a little further than I wanted, and I literally just tucked and rolled over.
That's it.
You
Yeah.
get used to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was demonstrating that yesterday, actually.
Tuck the chin, find the shoulder, and roll it out.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Try not to get your shoulder locked underneath you.
Yeah. Well, if you've done like jujitsu, aikido, or anything like that, and you've done break rolls, you will naturally tuck the one shoulder and go in that way. Because I hadn't done that for years, and the first time I went over in a forearm stand, that's what naturally happened. I was like, okay.
And I feel your pain, Ryan, on wearing shoes now, because normally when I come down, after failing so many times, my legs bend and it's okay. I can, but I went down in a full plank one time, and the balls of my feet hit the mat. Boom! I was like, shoes.
absolutely, yeah. Until you can control, and even then, there's so many variables that you can't necessarily control. And man, protecting those toes. Try doing DDP yoga with some broken toes. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, man.
Wait, hello.
Or pain in the foot. I'm currently having a discussion right now in the Facebook group for DDP yoga where somebody had mentioned.
Someone asked
having
what keto is.
No, somebody asked
Some asshole asked what keto is.
if there is success with anybody doing DDP yoga and keto. So I purely
saw
just
that.
chimed in with what's keto. And now I've got a lot of people explaining to me what keto is.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm trying to approach it as if I thought keto was a type of working out. So far, the conversation's great.
I love it, dude. I love it.
Amazing.
All right, so should we bring on this week's guest?
Let's
Yeah, let's
do it.
Absolutely.
All right, take honors, Travis.
All right. This week's guest, she is a shining example of grit, determination, and making it your own. She arguably has one of the most impressive active consecutive day streaks going in DDPY, and we will let her explain why. Please welcome Jennifer
Jolicoeur.
I've been waiting for this. Come on, don't let me down.
Jolicoeur.
Good job!
Please welcome
Yay!
Jennifer.
Hey!
Hi, guys.
And to give me a
Cheers.
smirk. Cheers.
You guys.
Cheers.
I was
I've
waiting
gone for
for
a very
I
sparkly
was
rosé with a shark
waiting
in
for
it.
Ryan to
He's got a
give me the
fancy glass.
normal smirk that he gives me because he
I
loves
knew you
for
had
me to fuck names up.
I was gonna see if you were gonna go super French with it. Wasn't sure.
So yeah, it is a French name, which means beautiful heart, which is like
Oh.
the perfect name for me, right? And it's Jolicoeur in French, or if you're from Rhode Island, it's Jolica, like Frolica.
Jolica.
You know,
Oh,
it's
so
so funny
we're-
that you just broke into that kind of accent because there is a video of you with Dallas, and you're like, "Hey, it's your girl Jennifer Jolicoeur," and like you went right into that like instantly, and then some like you kind of flow in and out of that,
Yes,
that little cadence.
Yeah.
It's so
people
funny.
ask me if I'm from New York, and I say no, I'm from Rhode Island, and they go, "Oh yeah, Long Island is in New York." I'm like, no, Rhode Island. Did you guys like pay attention in history? Rhode Island is actually a state. It's like
Nobody knows the state.
the littlest one, but we're mighty.
Where is that?
We're in between Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Okay, right.
Like, tucked-
Nowhere there then. Okay.
Is that the
So
license
it's
plate tag?
when you look
mighty?
when you look at the map of America, Boz, it has its own little blowout, so it shows it much bigger.
Yeah,
Okay.
teeny
That's how
tiny.
small it is.
It's like so
I
little
like
on
those.
the map. And
Can I
we
just
go
say,
like the
also-
road state.
Also French surname.
Yes.
Pronounced Bozier.
Oh, Bozier.
Yeah, there you go.
Where are you
Which
from?
is that's French for sexy bear.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it
I
is.
love
Yeah.
that.
Oui,
Is
oui.
it really? Are you guys messing with me?
Oui,
Do I have
oui.
to
Of
look
course
this
we
up? Do I have to look
Go, you seriously Google sexy bear
Okay.
right now. Turn
Okay.
off safe search.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Sexy bear.
Then
Is the picture
No,
of him gonna like show
Hit
up
image.
like right
Just-
away?
yes,
It's
you're
got to be
just gonna-
Boz.
And we can't be
Yeah.
responsible for what picture. That's all.
It'll actually take you to Back on Track Living, DDP Yoga, and
Correct.
Science of Stretching classes. Sexy bear.
Ah, there he is. There he is. There's our boy Boz.
Oh,
You do
There
need
it
a
is,
haircut,
guys.
Boz.
that was clearly a Thursday.
You're listening
I'm-
to this and not watching the podcast. You just missed out on something awesome.
Yeah. Get to YouTube now.
Oh,
No, I'm from England, but the Boziers came to England. Apparently, they were French aristocrats who fled during the Revolution. So there you go. I come from a long line of cowards, which you'll see makes sense.
what's French for cowards?
I didn't take French in high school. What a dummy! So I have this beautiful French last name and know nothing about French speech.
It's all right because you do it in high school, and then 3 years later you've forgotten all of it because you're not using it anymore. So it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah. It's kinda
My grandparents would yell at me in French and swear viens sit I think meant come here, and teg de plush meant hard head of stone, so they called me that a lot. Jennifer the teg de plush. I think that's really all I know.
At
And my
least it
grandmother
doesn't
used to
sound
swear.
insulting.
Well, the
That
insults sound
kinda-
beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to think of my grandmother's favorite swear was tabanak, which I have no idea what that means, but when she was angry, she would say that.
Tabernacle.
Yeah.
For all the French listening, sorry guys. She
Yeah,
has some
tabanak.
What a
Sorry.
filthy mouth on this girl.
I know she was not happy. So you guys swear on this podcast, right?
Oh,
Never.
Couple.
Never.
Yes.
Not one
So
time.
the other thing, so my grandma
mainly.
she would be agitated in English, which was insane. When the phone would ring, she would say, "Fuck me, the phone's ringing again." Tabanak. She was awesome.
Fantastic.
I love it.
So, in the intro, Travis referenced your active DDP yoga streak. I don't want to get into that right away. First, I want to get
Okay.
into how did you even find DDP yoga? Were you a wrestling fan?
Oh my
was it
gosh.
I don't think it was Jim. Was it Rogan? Please don't say it was Rogan.
It was not. Actually, I am a huge wrestling fan. I actually went to an indie wrestling show last night where Gang Grill was
Saw that.
actually the guest. So
That's Heath something, right?
I don't know his real name.
I'm trying to be a
Grill.
mark, but yeah.
I absolutely love wrestling. My favorite wrestler is Barry Windham, and Roddy Piper is number 2. So those are my
I love
favorite
Roddy.
wrestlers. Do you love Roddy? It was
Yeah,
the
I
anniversary.
love Roddy.
The anniversary of his death was yesterday.
Oh, was it? Oh,
It
bless.
was. So I wore my Hot Rod shirt, proudly. But yeah, so I definitely have been a wrestling fan since I was a teenager. I've been to 5 WrestleManias. I've been to WrestleMania after parties. I've been to all kinds of wrestling signings in the last few years. So I absolutely long time wrestling fan. So
Real quick, why Barry Windham? That's an
'cause
interesting
he's
choice.
so sexy, God.
Those yellow tights will do it to you every time, man.
Gosh, my
Like
heart
like his
would
NWA
pound.
run or like beyond that.
Yeah, my heart would pound whenever I saw him on like Saturday
amazing.
mornings with Mike Rotundo wrestling as the U.S. Express, because that's the time that I got into wrestling. Yeah.
Mr.
So,
IRS himself.
Yeah.
Isn't that where they had Hulk
You
Hogan's
did
theme before
allude-
Hulk Hogan did?
Yeah, you did allude to my other business, right? My sex toy business. So I will tell you that he was definitely the subject of all my teenage fantasies. Is Barry Windham? I don't know, 6'6", Sweetwater, Texas, born on the 4th of July. Sorry, I'm like sweating now, guys. Right?
Love it.
But how
You're on
about-
the right show.
Yeah, right.
All I know is you're making Boz rethink his wrestling sucks thing. He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I am actually.
I didn't know there were a lot of sexy dudes in wrestling. What am I missing?
For sure.
They love me. Sorry. No.
So
No, that's
I
awesome.
actually, in 2015, I went blind in my left eye out of nowhere. I got bit by a tick. I got a huge dose of antibiotics, and they couldn't tell me which was the thing that made me go blind. And when you lose your vision in one eye, you become extremely unbalanced and unsteady. I couldn't drive. I couldn't look at a computer screen. Like, it was the craziest thing because my body had to adjust to only having one eye. And I was very depressed, as you can imagine. Like, I own my own company, which has, thousands of people who work for me. My job requires me to read a lot about sexuality and learn and, be on the internet and social media and all that. And suddenly I just couldn't. So I really was in like this very dark place. And a friend told me about, Deed sent me a link for the Arthur video. And, with one eye, I sat there and I watched it and I just sobbed uncontrollably because, when you're in that dark place and you have limitations, like to see someone who has limitations, not necessarily the same ones you have, but so many limitations, doing something so extraordinary as running after not being able to really move around without canes. I mean, you just have this moment of, if he can do it, I can do it. Like, stop feeling depressed, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and do whatever this guy did. So I looked it up and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's DDP the wrestler, which just made me even more excited to try it. So, and ironically, I was going to WrestleMania. And my same friend who sent me the clip of Arthur said, "You're never going to believe this, but DDP is going to be doing a workshop at WrestleMania. We should go. It's like $99, and we'll go for this experience." And so I counted down the days. I was so excited, and when we walked into that room, it was already like chaos because this woman met Dallas and fainted. I don't know if you guys have heard this story.
Wow.
So like they had like, medical person there, like, trying to make sure she was okay. And
that
That's
Billy
not.
say?
Hold on. Is that the Billy one?
Is that
Billy
Billy's-
Kirkwood?
I don't know.
Is
I
it-
That
was
was at WrestleMania.
Was there a strange
He thought it was
Scottish guy looking after her?
WrestleMania.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
had a
know
previous
who it
guest on.
was.
Literally talk about it.
Yeah, I
He's the
think
guy that saved her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So you guys are familiar? That's like a story in DDP
Yeah.
community.
It's a story in our world, the better in our
Yeah,
world.
on that podcast, he talks about it.
No
He was
kidding.
Dallas's guest, and
Yeah.
they're getting ready, and she ends up passing out, and
And I turned to my side and I watched this blonde woman drop, an elderly blonde drop, and this is the weird thing. Everyone is looking at Dallas. No one is looking at this blonde woman, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go and see. I'm gonna get up and go and see. No one's really paying me any. Basically, something happened that indicated that she was having a stroke. Nothing to do. Again, I want to make this very clear. Nothing to do with it. We hadn't even started. It was just hot, whatever. I don't know. She dropped. Dallas is and I felt really rude standing up and having to go, "Excuse me, could someone phone an ambulance?" If that's it. And they all looked at me like I was a fucking idiot because everyone's there for it. Who's this random? Maybe they didn't understand what I
was going to
said.
say, I didn't understand your accent.
Oh, oh my God, the Scottish guy's kicking off.
aggressive.
I think he's trying to say he wants to buy land. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I need a shirt that said I was there. Because I was definitely there.
Here's where I'm a dick, and I go, thanks for listening.
Yeah. So I walked in there to that chaos, and then he,
Sorry.
we started the whole thing, and he walked around and shook everybody's hands, and you know, like when I touched him, I definitely felt electricity. I was like, wow, you know, like because he's so engaging and just makes you feel like you're the only person in the room when he talks to you. So I did yoga in that class, and I just felt 1,000 times better, and just it ignited this just determination in me to try it. My son was with me, my little Gabe, and he won the Max Pack, and DDP signed it, and that was it. I took it home and started doing the DVDs, and I was hooked.
That's a cool story.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
it's not often you hear that people like the genesis was actually the workshop. Usually people are kind of a few, you know, they've done the DVDs or had the app, and you know, then they have that opportunity.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see somebody go in like as a, you know, a virgin to the program, and then just walk out going, yep, that's it.
That's it.
Because
That's
honestly, if you really want to, you want to find that drive, and that those workshops are perfect for it, because you're surrounded, the energy that you're surrounded by, it's a lot more motivating than just putting a disc in your DVD player and hitting play. That's
so
for sure.
true, because you felt the energy while you were there, and you're like, wow, I want to create this in my daily life. I want to feel this in my everyday life. And you know, I started, and I was doing the DVDs a couple times a week and doing good, and then I hurt my shoulder and I just fell off. And you know, I think a lot of people start and stop the program. You know, I see a lot of that in the community, the Facebook community, and so I was one of those people who fell off, and then, you know, I started putting weight on again, and then I started journaling, and I'm like, gosh, I just, you know, I hate the way my body looks right now. I feel so soft and, you know, pudgy, and I just want to be toned, and I want to be strong, and I want to be flexible, and made this list, and I'm like, why am I not doing DDP every day? And I just happened to be going to another WrestleMania, and I was with Dallas, and I said to him, you know, I'm going to do DDP yoga every day. And he looked at me and he was like, go for it, you know, and like I felt like he challenged me, and I went home, and I'm 4.5 years in of doing it every single day.
So that's into the 1500s now?
Yeah, 15. I'm almost
Wow.
I'm almost at 1600. I'm like 21 days away from 1600.
And there's a lot of obstacles in there, but I do want to say I was totally creeping your Instagram, and I think there's a video of the two of you, and I don't know if it was WrestleMania. WrestleManias are like your New Year's, apparently. That's when you decide to change your life. Some people make it January 1st, and you're like, it's April.
Yeah.
Let's get back in shape.
It's WrestleMania.
Yeah. So, but you're like, I'm here at this workshop with Dallas. It's consecutive day, I think 79. So, I mean, talk about calling your own shot. You know, you're 79 there, and now look, you're literally into quad digits.
Oh yeah, and I went to multiple workshops too. Like whenever he was doing one, I absolutely was there for the WrestleManias. You know,
he used to do a lot more of them. I hope he gets back to that soon. I mean, obviously with lockdowns coming back, potentially it's going to slow down again. But man, those were. I mean, you could go to ddpyogaworkshops.com and there'd be like 15 to 20 dates listed.
Right. I actually hosted one, you know, like I hosted one in Newport, Rhode Island. So I was having a big convention with all my sex toy goddesses. You know, they come from all over and Adonai. I have a couple guys that sell sex toys for me too. And we all get together once a year in Newport, Rhode Island. I rent out this hotel, and we talk about the newest sex toys. We talk about, you know, how to run our businesses better. And I invited Dallas. I reached out and I was like, I would really love to do a workshop like you did, you know, that inspired me at WrestleMania in Newport with my goddesses and Adonai. And he came, and
Nice.
I
think.
actually had the biggest turnout for a very long time. I held the record for the biggest DDP yoga workshop. There was like 150 there. And unfortunately, I was dethroned. I lost my crown by the WWE free breast cancer workshop that they did at a WrestleMania. But I
What a
did
bunch of
hold it up until
bastards.
that. I know.
Just do it again. Every attendee gets a free rabbit. Go,
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah, actually, you just kind of casually glanced over that. You want to tell everybody what you do? You kind of referenced it.
Sure. So for the last 23 years of my life, I have run a company called Athena's that I founded. And it's a home party company. Like, I'm sure you're familiar with Tupperware. That your mom might have had a party in the 70s or the 80s, a Tupperware party where someone would come in and explain the bowls. Well, I decided to do the same type of thing, but explain different types of plastics. So sex toys and romance products and body lotions and lubricants, and teach people how to have better sex. Because what I personally found in my own life journey, as far as sex goes, women aren't really encouraged to embrace their sexuality. We get a lot of mixed messages, like from school, from your parents, from the media, like be sexy, not too sexy. All the boys in school who had sex, what a stud he is, but man, is she a slut, like that. And that's a shitty dynamic for men and women. So I wanted to change that. So I dedicated my whole life to educating women and explaining to women, like, hey, listen, it is so awesome to have orgasms. You should have a boatload, have them every day. It's good for your health, and really helping women embrace that. So, and then people would come up to me and go, oh my God, I love what you just taught me. I want to teach people how to do that too. So I would teach them how to do it. And that's how the company just grew and grew and grew. And we went from this little company in Rhode Island to a national company where I have people in like 40 different states doing these parties. So, it's amazing to see your passion spread like that. I'm sure, DDP must feel the same way, where you have this idea, this passion, and it just goes, and you do good in so many people's lives, because man, when someone who's never had an orgasm sends you a thank you card, like, thank you for all the information you gave me. I mean, that's big. Like, you've changed their life forever. I mean,
Jen, you'll have people who, like, 25, 30 years have never experienced it. Like, if you're key to unlocking that's like giving some back their health. It's the same kind of buzz, I'm sure.
Do you guys have your version of the Arthur video?
Yeah, it's such a natural part of life, like,
I have so many questions. Like, number one is I had no idea that's what Tupperware was used for. So
I'm very upset with my mother when I thought we got these
I'll be honest,
Tupperware
my mom
parties.
had a lot of Tupperware parties, and we never had Tupperware though. So
Not
that's
happy.
really weird.
So she was just
I hate Tupperware. Like, if you'll set me off on one of my Boz's rant of the weeks if you get talking about Tupperware. The thing about Tupperware is you could buy 15 pieces. There's a thing and a lid, and you put it away for the first 2 weeks, and it's great. 2 weeks later, and for the rest of your life, every time you open that fucking cupboard, half of it's falling out. It doesn't matter how well you stack it. It could be immaculate in the corner. Half an hour later, open the cupboard, out it comes. I just throw it across the room now.
And missing the lid.
It's the same problem with the stuff that she's selling too. You open the cupboard and it just right to the face.
What happened to Travis's house?
That's right. Just right in the face.
Fall out. It's great.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And like, I mean, honestly, like, when putting together the outline for the show, I was trying to do a little bit of research. We crossed paths a little bit at Summit. Had a quick conversation, but not much more than that. So I was trying to learn, and like, the first thing that comes up is like all the stuff with Athena, and like you just were made like the grand marshal of some parade because of your contributions to your community, and it's all because being a small business owner that just kind of made it big.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go back to when I started the business. The city did not want me there. They thought I was a brothel. They thought I was doing something illegal. They thought we were doing live sex parties. I mean, they literally wanted to run me out with like pitchforks and torches. The mayor did not want me in the city. I mean, it was just a disaster, but I was like, no, I'm not going to waver. I am not doing anything wrong. I love this community, and I'm going to serve this community, and you watch. So now here we are 23 years later. On April Fool's Day, the anniversary of the day I started Athena's, our 23rd anniversary. My staff presents me with flowers, and they're like, oh, they love their jobs. And they're like, thank you so much, Jen. And my husband came, and my kids came, and my mom, my mother-in-law. It was so nice. We were having this little thing. And then all of a sudden the back door opens to our office, and the mayor walks in. I mean, this is two mayors since the one who didn't want me there. The mayor walks in, the Autumn Fest committee, which is our big fall festival, the city council walks in, and I'm like, what on earth is happening? And the head of the Autumn Fest committee stepped forward and said, Jen, I know that it's April 1st, and you're going to think like this is an April Fool's joke, but it's not. You are an unsung hero in our community. You've donated to so many charities. We can't even list them all. So you are the Grand Marshal of the city for 2021. And I literally started hyperventilating because I had my mask on because it was April. I was like, I felt so honored because to go from someone who was, on the front page of the paper, city investigates local woman, and had all this, nasty stuff about,
Slander.
what they thought we were doing, to suddenly being, they're going to let the dildo girl lead the parade, guys. Like, that is huge. Like, what a shift in the times, like, so, and I worked really, really hard to gain the acceptance of my community.
You earned it.
Donated to every charity that, the Boy Scouts, this lady needs a ramp, who has cancer. I was in there, boom, boom, boom. This high school, wants to take a trip to Mexico and help, bring books or whatever. I was in, every charity that I could possibly help, I was there. And then the real, thing that I think the real reason I got Grand Marshal was because I broke a Guinness World Record in my community. I collected bras for 10 years from women. And then we had this big community event where we hooked almost 200,000 donated bras together and broke the Guinness World Record for the world's longest bra chain. And that really was like a huge thing. And what's cool about bras is I have 400 celebrities who autographed bras for me, and the majority of them are wrestlers. I met every wrestler that I ever loved: Barry Windham, Roddy Piper, Dusty Rhodes, Nikolai Volkov, the Iron Sheik, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Ric Flair. I went and met every wrestler.
Oh, how many bras did Ric Flair give you?
I would actually bring a bra with me to whatever wrestling.
Oh, I thought he'd keep them in his pocket. I thought when he walked down the street, people just threw them at him. He'd be like, "Well, here's 15."
Yeah, right. I'm sure he has a bunch under his bed.
I went and got coffee.
But it was wonderful to meet Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and all these icons and ask them to sign a bra, tell them why. Like Mick Foley was so wonderful and Hacksaw was so wonderful, and everybody that I put a bra in front of in the wrestling community was like, I would love to sign this bra. Thank you for the opportunity. And, a couple of times I would bring like a sex toy bag and give it to, the wrestlers. Like Ric Flair, I gave him one and he's like, oh, explain all this stuff to my wife, please. So I was off to the side. Hulk Hogan, I gave a bag to his wife. So when they saw me again, they're like, hey, you. And,
what a way to make a lasting impression, right? Some people bring cookies and
right. I'm like, here's a bag of sex toys,
Business card.
Yeah,
and you kind of undersold that. That you called that it was called Athena's Cup, right?
Yeah,
and it was a 10-year. And did I read that it's 120 miles long?
124 miles long. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you didn't do that like in a row, right? It was all in one field, and you guys just went up and down.
We looped and looped and looped and looped like thousands of times. And the community came out for it. I had like the high school football team came to hook bras, and we also
they did. They're so used to unhooking them, they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, senior citizens would come, and what was really cool is we called everybody hookers, right? So the little old ladies from the nursing home who came were like, I'm a hooker, like so cute,
Well,
so
they're hookers with their crochet needles too, right?
Oh, totally, absolutely. and what was the coolest thing, like breaking a Guinness World Record is, kind of like a dream come true. Like, I don't know how old you guys are, but I just turned 50 and I was a huge Brady Bunch fan. And there was the Brady Bunch episode where Cindy and Bobby tried to break the teeter-totter Guinness World Record, and like that planted in my brain when I was a kid, like I want to do that. So to finally Fonzie jumped over the trash cans and Happy Days, like all those things definitely left an impression on me. And when I was like, how am I going to make a statement, because one of my friends had breast cancer, I'm like, how am I going to make a statement, instead of just a bake sale or something, what can I do that's really going to be super memorable and cool? And that's where the Athena's Cup came from. And it was magical. It really was. There was so many moments where we had breast cancer survivors come up and, give us their bras, or, someone come and go, my mom died of breast cancer and I'm here with her bag of bras. This is where she wanted them to go. And, like what that means to you, it's just so beautiful. So it was
incredible.
It was cool. It was really cool.
What do you do with 190,000 bras when you're done? Like,
Well, unfortunately, we experienced like torrential downpour and rain in between. So we would have to we'd be hooking for a couple days and then have to stop. So the bras were all destroyed in the rain,
Gotcha.
unfortunately. So we had to dispose of them because my goal was to donate them, take it all apart and donate them to battered women's shelters. But they just got soaking wet and there was nothing we could do with them because how do you even wash 200,000 bras?
I thought maybe like at least on the celebrity signed ones, auction them off for a charity or something.
Well,
but
interesting you say that. I still have all my celebrity bras, and now imagine I have Roddy Piper signed a bra, Dusty Rhodes signed a bra, Nikolai signed a bra, Jim the Anvil Neidhart signed a bra for me. So a lot of wrestlers who've passed away have signed bras for me, and a lot of celebrities too, like Chewbacca signed a bra for me. Burt Reynolds signed a bra for me. So a lot of the celebrities have passed away that signed bras for me. So it's an awesome collection, and I will auction it off one day because my goal was, guys, so we broke the record, and I mean I was exhausted. I barely slept. I mean it was like 2 weeks of just nonstop hooking and just managing volunteers, and I mean the weather. I mean it was nuts. I actually lost a toenail. One of the volunteers kicked me in the foot and ripped my toenail off. Blood starts squirting out, and I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do my DDP yoga with a freaking toe? My toe was throbbing, right? But I still didn't miss a freaking day. I did yoga there. I have a great picture of me doing a roundhouse in the middle of all the
big
bras.
pile.
I see that one. Yeah.
And when they handed me the Guinness World Records certificate, me and my buddy Steve Fleet, we held it, together, and we made the diamond cutter, him and I, I held that and was just so proud. I wanted to show Dallas, look at this freaking, this is your girl right here, your warrior. So my goal was to break the record and then go to Mexico, because every year I take my top performers on a trip somewhere. So we were headed to Mexico 3 days after we broke the record. So we get to Mexico and I'm decompressing. I'm like, I can finally take a break. I have my mat. I love doing DDP yoga against a beautiful backdrop, an ocean, a sunset, a sunrise, something, and the backgrounds are going to be beautiful. I got 2 days of DDP yoga backgrounds, and then I went on a jet ski with my son on day 3 of this amazing vacation, and I was in a freak accident and broke my spine. So, I mean, so we were going to a parasailing boat, right? So we get on a jet ski. So it was the jet ski driver, my son, and myself on the back. And, it was rough water, and he was jumping the waves. And then the jet ski just came out of the water, at this angle, and I lost my grip because, the water's spraying you in the face, and we were slippery, and I lost my grip, and my body flew up into the air, but came crashing down on the jet ski, and I heard my spine snap. I heard it and I just I was able to grab onto my son again and just hold on while going to the boat. And when we got to the boat, I couldn't move. I thought I was paralyzed, and what I didn't realize either at the time was that my lungs were filling with fluid too. I had pleural effusion in my lungs. So I get on this boat and the jet ski takes off, and it was rough seas. So I'm trying to hold on to the boat, and the captain looked at me. He's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Something's wrong with me." But we had a language barrier, so I had to wait for the jet ski to come back with other people for them to put me back on the freaking jet ski and drive me very slowly back to the shore. And literally, guys, the jet ski rider was like, "Okay," lifted me off the jet ski, unhooked my thing, and just got back on the jet ski and went away. And I kind of turned and I looked up the beach, and it was this giant tunnel, how far do I have to walk? And I just was taking these little steps.
Fuck, you walked it?
Oh yeah, and I'm trying
Holy
to breathe,
shit.
right? I'm trying to breathe, right? So what we've been taught with DDP yoga is just to breathe
Control
through
your
the
breath.
uncomfortable situation. So I'm and just walking so slowly, and I just collapsed in a lawn chair. And thankfully they found, a couple of goddesses found me, and they're like, "Jenna, you all right?" And I'm like, "Something's wrong." And so when I got back to the United States, I went for X-ray, and they're like, "You snapped your spine. You have a fractured spine."
Okay. I have a question. You
Yes.
said when you got back to the United States, how long did you stay in Mexico? I mean,
I stayed the whole trip, and my goddesses went into town and got me every pain reliever they could get over the counter.
Oh, they got good ones there.
Mexico, yeah.
Zonked, right? Because all pain relievers are legal.
All kinds of Darvocet.
I was zonked. I was on I so many different Vicodins, Percocets, just drooling. Like I literally was so whacked out. I was drooling.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, when I got back to the room and they laid me down on the bed for the the doctor was coming to look at me, and I looked up at my husband and I was like, my streak. 'Cause at the time, guys, I was a top 100 DDP yoga person. I was always in the top 100. I was doing an hour and 15 minutes a day. I did only yellow, orange, and red workouts. I mean, I was a beast, right? And like I had to, in that moment, let go of my obsession with being a top 100 person, and just like that washing over me and just crying. So, and I hadn't done my DDP that day, so I'm like, is this where the streak ends? And then I just rolled over and I grabbed my iPad and I brought up the app, and there was the bed flex. And how humbling. I never had to do bed flex. I do, orange workouts with Hayden and, DDP, I'm a freaking rock star. And I watched it and I just had tears just like pouring, like knowing like I'm going to have to slide this far backwards. And okay, here we go. Bed flex. Lift your left leg, hold it, put it down. Lift your right leg, hold it, put it down. And,
but how many fitness systems have something there that you can break your back and then look, it starts here and you can work your way back up. I mean, sorry, I just
probably
brings that into
probably
focus.
just DDP and DDPY and CrossFit.
Yeah, I mean,
about it.
I was so grateful in that moment to have bed flex. I mean, so grateful, as much as it was humbling and this is the last thing that I want for my body and my fitness journey. It's just this acceptance of, okay, this is what I have to do to keep my streak alive. And each day I did bed flex while I was totally zonked out on meds. I wasn't able to go and have a blast and drink and, like what I had really needed. So my goal was to come home and do an auction of all the bras. But when I got home, I was so incapacitated and on meds, I had to be in a gigantic like brace, that I had to have fitted and, but I still did my DDP every day and bed flex. And, some people would say to me, I can see in your time lapses that you're in so much pain. I can see it on your face because I'm sure you guys all know that I time lapse every single.
You invented
the time lapse for DDP yoga. That's
I did start the time lapse thing, but and that was kind of a tough thing because my first. When I got into the DDP yoga group and I posted my first time lapse, I was scolded.
Can't do that.
Admins.
Me too. That's how I ended up in your group.
You could go frame by frame and copy the workout.
And I'm like, what? Who the hell's gonna do that?
Exactly.
But I was like, okay, respect. When Dallas ever found out that I wasn't allowed to post my time lapse, he didn't even know. He was like, what? Because I sent him like this beautiful sunset time lapse. He's like, post this everywhere. It's so beautiful. And I'm like, I can't. And he's like, what? And now it's happening. So that's good. But regardless, I'm so happy that people are doing that because it's inspirational, because someone can watch your workout in 30 seconds and be like, wow, I can do that. I can do that. Yeah. So I worked my way from being in bed to my doctor, I was going to see, the guy who was treating the orthopedic doctor who was treating me for my spine. And, he would say, all right, you're healing and you can do a little more. So I went from bed to chair and then chair back to the mat. And I got back on the mat on my 1,000th consecutive day, which meant so much to me.
What workout did you do?
Because it was my first one really back to being up. It was just energy, because that's, you're a beginner. I just had to go back to the beginning. And Dallas had called me when he found out I was hurt, which meant the world to me. And, I lamented to him. I'm like, I'm not going to be a top 100 person anymore. And that breaks my heart because I want to make you proud and I want to make myself proud. And it is a certain amount of you're a kick-ass, DDP warrior when you're in the top 100. And he's like, please do not think about that right now. All I want you to do is think about healing. Focus on healing and you will come back. And he was right. you know, but I was so glad that he called me. It meant the world to me.
Those are those little things that he can do that just they keep that flame lit as far as inspiration and motivation and
for sure.
And the other thing I love about your time lapses is all of the animal activity.
Cats climbing on you, dogs in and out.
Yeah, I love it.
3 dogs, right? 3 dogs.
Dogs doing down dogs under you when you're doing a down. I love all that shit.
As soon as they hear the app come on, they are like like just magnets, and they're like around me, under me, or you know, just sometimes the dogs knock me over. Sometimes they start fighting with each other, and you know, I'll be in like side plank, and they're like freaking knocking into me. So now I have to like really work on my balance, you know, to stay, which is crazy. And then the cat started coming in. I don't know if you've seen any of those pictures. My cat started climbing me while I'm doing DDPY. It was a 3-legged dog. The cat would jump on my back and climb up my leg that's raised. And
it adds an element of balance, right?
There. Like, just
that's a new move. 3-legged dog, 4-legged cat.
Totally. And the
There you
cat was like, this is a great place to just like lay down right now. Really? So it's fun. It's fun to have the animals around.
So being that you're so seasoned and you're back on the mat at, I would assume 100%. I don't know if you have any lingering injuries or anything like that. Are you running into anything?
Actually, can I ask where was the break?
What's that?
Where was the break?
My lower back.
Lumbar.
11.
11. Okay.
Yeah. So it snapped the base of my spine, you know, so it hurt way down here.
Yeah,
and then the fluid in my lungs, I mean, it dissipated over time, but like I was having a hard time breathing, like taking deep breaths, you know, which was also just, man, and being in that confining brace, I was like, you know, it's just no fun. I was doing my yoga with it, but so injury wise, so now I get back to being in the top 100. I send Dallas a screenshot, like, look at this, back in the top 100. I'm back doing 90 minutes a day. Yeah. And then I had a sec sent me to the ER injury. Where I tore my shoulder, right? I was holding on to the headboard, and I
Good boy.
Like,
Good boy.
Oh shit.
So hurt my shoulder. Had to go back again, slide back again. You know.
So you just probably shouldn't ride stuff.
Yeah. I can't help myself with that one, guys. You know?
Brilliant.
Nope.
That's like super important.
So you see, the two things do complement because, like, there's no two ways about it. DDPY helps in the bedroom. I'm telling you.
Yes, and that's definitely something we need to talk about, guys, because you know I feel it with my flexibility and being 50 and still being like, you know, like feeling sexy and, you know, like looking good for my husband and having nice curves and, you know, nice spots to grab onto. But I'm sure for you guys who come in and lose weight, like your belly isn't as big and you feel more stamina and you can go longer and you can hold positions longer, and that must be a really cool thing for you guys.
And a bit stronger at the lower back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's something that, like, I think is a real benefit that isn't talked about a whole lot, you know, like the sexual benefits, you know.
Well, there was a Motivational Monday a few weeks back where
was that a
and then also Dallas posted that porch swing that him and Paige got. You know, it's kind of getting there. He's opening it up a bit.
Swing?
You didn't see that? That big ass, it's the porch bed thing that he got.
I missed that.
It's literally a
like canopied and
swing that's a bed, and it's mounted, and it's some big company out there, and I think they are in Smyrna. They're not even in Atlanta, but yeah. And he posted, and the Facebook comments, they got it under control really quick.
And how wonderful for him. She is so hot. Like, she is hot. You know,
It's like Candid.
Her body is just.
Oh, that's the gravity swing. They're not gravity swing. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Her body is just beautiful, and she's beautiful. I mean, I'm sure they're having great sex because, wow.
Should be mortified with talking about that, but on a serious note, you're talking about the benefits as well. If you've been in that place where you're very overweight, there tends the body dysmorphia and the hatred of looking at yourself, how you look in the mirror, all of that affects your libido, because yes, libido is hormone controlled, and testosterone levels are affected as well. They can be boosted when you're more healthy, so that leads into it as well. But if you hate the way you look, you don't feel sexy in the bedroom. You always have to switch the lights off. So the effect on that is is quite dramatic, and it's not something anyone thinks of. We talk about the diet, the weight loss, the flexibility, the strength. We cover all of this, but lots of benefits in that direction.
Oh,
Blood flow too, Boz. Blood flow.
Blood flow.
That's the biggest
yes.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Blood flow
actually
is
gets me to
super,
my next
super
thing
important.
here is talking about blood flow. Have you done jack straps?
Oh my gosh, my jack straps are right over there. You bet I have. It took
Awesome.
a while to get used to for me. And Tom, you're there, right? Thank
I
you so
am.
much, because I couldn't figure it out. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And you were so wonderful posting those videos. And that's another huge perk of the DDP yoga program is the community where, you know, you get to meet people online and say, hey, can you help me with this? And like, bang, yeah, I'll help you with that. You know, so thank you, Tom. You were really helpful.
Anytime.
You helped so much. And I, you know, I was able to start
Literally
using
the
them.
#1 authority on it in the community.
Totally, right?
Officially.
You know, I found
No, I
that-
We're
appreciate
going
that.
to start calling him Dr. Jacked instead of Dr. Tom, I think. That's the new
Dr.
thing.
Jax. And I found like it gave me like a little like scratchy sensation, you know, on my arms. And, you know, like it took a while to get used to. Like if I was in a tank top, like I felt like it scratched me a little bit, you know. So I just started wearing t-shirts and, you know, you get used to it. And it's really, it's a totally different way to feel, you know, like you feel like your muscles hardening, you know, like when you finish that workout, you're like, wow. I haven't put them on my legs yet. Do you guys do them on your legs?
I don't use them.
I can't
No.
afford it.
Tom does.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's all Tom.
Yeah, exclusive.
So-
So that I found more benefit on the legs. So I just put a video out the other day of why I feel that leg straps might even be more important than the arm straps because of heart rate, right? So we talk about, you know, the idea of doing dynamic resistance gets our heart rate in a standing position. Blood flow restriction has the same exact effect. Biggest muscles of the body are quads, hamstrings, everything from the lower half. So just the act of just putting them on and cranking them on, your heart rate goes up 10 or 20 points just by doing that. So I'm on an experiment right now. I'm trying to build my quads as huge as possible without really using weights. So I'm just using like a weighted vest and doing like step ups and things like that using the cuff. So had pretty good
Okay.
experience. So I'll keep you guys up to date on all my
Yeah.
crazy
I have
experiments.
a
Now, have
question
you
about
brought
that.
them into the bedroom?
That is a
I don't
I
know.
haven't.
Keep that dry. That's for later. I was going to ask you, Tom. I don't know about how this works, but like, I know the human growth hormones is side of thingy of blood flow restriction. Is that generated in the muscles, or did I misunderstand that?
so human growth hormone comes through a pituitary gland in your brain,
Oh,
right?
okay, totally.
So the active,
Okay.
no, it's fine. No, it's an important thing to know. So all the pituitary gland is the master hormone, or has all those hormones that come from it, right? So when we do blood flow restriction, it sends signals systemically, right, and locally. So we get the localized effect from the cuff down, but then we get that systemic effect. And one of the systemic effects is we do have a release of IGF-1, which is insulin-like growth factor, and growth hormone, and those both build systemic muscles. So that's why. So Janet, you know, when you were rehabbing like that shoulder, one of the things PTs are doing now, if they can't use that shoulder, they're cuffing the opposite side, and they're
really?
finding that they're getting effects on the contralateral side because of the systemic effect, which is super cool. So there's a major systemic effect with that. So that's how growth hormone works in that regard.
Yeah, all right, that makes sense. You know, I was, you know, when I blew up my shoulder, it was like, okay, I can't do my push-ups. I can't plank right now. So I did a lot of stand-up. And guys, so, you know, I don't know what it is like about like why the universe does this to me, but so my 50th birthday was 2 Fridays ago, right? So now my shoulder's healed. All right, let's go. We're back in. And someone sent me flowers for my birthday. And when I picked up the vase, it slipped out of my hands and fell. And I took a step and I fell on top of it. And I took 5 stitches to the finger. So right in the, you know, I feel like Sally from, you know, The Nightmare Before Christmas, you know, how she like, I was like, well, I'm watching them stitch my finger up going, why? So now I had to, once again, modify. So back to stand-ups again. And I couldn't open my hand all the way. So I had, you know, when I was doing things, I just kept my hand closed, you know, and so, you know, you can modify.
Everybody does
Yeah,
that.
exactly. I was doing my, like this,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Reach
Seen
out
that
and grab
before.
the ball. I'm like, okay, reach out and grab the ball, but, you know, keeping one hand closed. But what's, you know, I don't want to hear people's excuses. Like, if I can do this with a broken back, a blown out shoulder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
stitches-
I'm glad you said that,
like,
Jen.
No, a toenail missing, you know, like, I like, there's no excuses for me. Like, there is no excuses for me at all. I like, my Pepe died. I did it on the day that he died. I did it on his funeral, the day of his funeral. You know, my friend committed suicide. You know, I did it the day that I found out. I did it the day of her celebration of life. Like, I tell people when they ask me, how the hell do you do this every day? Like, what is it? Like, how do you do it? And my answer is always the same. And I don't look at it as, oh, I got to get on the mat. This is the gift I give to myself every day. I'm honoring my body, and I'm honoring my mind, and I'm honoring my spirit. And that's how I honestly feel. It's a gift that I give to myself every day, and it's non-negotiable. If I have the sniffles, if I got my COVID shot and I felt like crap and my arm hurt, okay, well, we're going to modify today, and you're going to figure it out. And that's just how I feel. It's just a non-negotiable. DDP yoga every day. It makes me feel stronger emotionally, and it makes me feel stronger physically. I mean, and there's times where I'm laying on that mat crying, and there's times where I'm laying on the mat laughing because I've had such a great day, or something joyful has happened in my life. But it's I've also said that it's like a magic carpet ride when you're happy, and it's also like a safety net that catches you when you're sad, or something that's not so great is going on in your life.
I love that
Well
mindset.
put.
Perfect.
I
Well
love
put.
that mindset.
That might have been the best thing that has ever been said on our show.
Oh, wow.
100%.
I think it's also the most grown-up thing that's ever been said on our show.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you probably would have been more impactful had there been some F words, but we're okay. Maybe Boz can slide some in.
I'm sure I will comply.
I just love it. It's life changing, and going to the summit was like such a great thing for me too. To meet Yoga Doc, that was such like a great moment for me to meet Vance, to meet
Me.
Everyone. It was just such a special thing because
Meet George Fenmore.
I met George Fenmore. I love George Fenmore. He will tell you that I inspired him to learn how to do the wrap and burn when you bring your leg up. What is that called? Bird of Paradise.
Bird of Paradise,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so I had gone. So one of my goals on my dream board, I make a dream board every year, and I have my DDP yoga goals. Like, what am I going to do? So Bird of Paradise is on there, and it was not only am I going to do Bird of Paradise, I'm going to do it with DDP. I'm going to go to a workshop, and I'm going to say to him, can we take a picture and do this together? Because I've worked my ass off trying to figure out this position and hold it. So I went, he was running out, he had to go, and I'm like, please, I know you're going, but can you do this for me? So he kicked off his sneakers, and we did it. And I hadn't even met George. He was there at that one, and we never spoke to each other, but he saw us do that, and that was it. He's like, you made me try that position and master it. So that's pretty cool. I love George, Jen, such nice people. Vance, 100%. Though, like Vance and I became like really good friends because I went up and introduced myself to him, and I'm like, I'm really inspired by what you've done. I've been following your journey, and every Wednesday when you post your video, like I'm like, go Vance, go, and a few minutes later, I was just sitting in the lobby on my phone, and he came and said, hey, this guy over here, he's gonna get a tattoo of DDP's signature. Want to go watch? And I was like, sure. So I hop in this truck with these people. I have no idea.
With Larry. It was with Larry.
That was Larry. Yeah.
Yep.
Larry and Emily. I jump into their car in the back with Vance, and I'm like, all right, here we go, an adventure. And Vance and I sat there while he got his tattoo, and he's like, so what do you do? And as soon as I told him what I did, his eyes lit up like, wow, And,
did he give you Mary's phone number?
Yeah. And we talked a lot about how sex is important, but so many people are raised to feel guilty and shame, and how that adversely affects your relationship, and especially when you've been married a long time. He's been married a long time, I've been married a long time, so we swapped some stories about how to keep your relationship really fresh and fun. And he's somebody who checks in on me, and when I broke my back, oh my gosh, he calls me Jen Jolicoeur from Rhode Island, how are you? And so he's one of my faves, one of my DDP yoga faves. Jesse Amaral,
another big streak.
Awesome.
Another big streak.
He streaks right in front of me, like I follow right behind him.
Number one streak in DDP yoga, despite what someone else thinks.
Yep.
Is it really? It's Jesse?
Yep.
Wow.
I believe it's Jesse.
I'm right behind him because he's in the 1600s.
I see Jesse working out.
Me too.
Yeah, I love Jesse. What a nice guy he is. So then I might have the longest female streak.
100%. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep. Yeah, and actually Jesse almost bailed on his in the 1200s.
I remember that. He sent me a message saying, I think I'm going to have to stop my streak. And he told me why. And I'm like, that's valid. If you're that uncomfortable, and you can't do it, you can't do it. because it's hard to modify, with certain medical conditions. But he did it, and he kept going. I was so proud of him. So proud.
Yeah, because I remember he's like, yeah, this is it, dude. Because I'm not far. I'm in the 1100s, and I said, no, dude, you got to figure something out. You have to do it. And then he messaged me the next morning. He goes, I kept it going.
Yeah.
And I think he started it at like 11:20 at night, and finished it like 11:55. We checked in, screenshot it. I'm like, I believe you, dude. Chill out. And he goes, I know. I just have to show you.
And talk about not having time and having excuses. When I first got into the community, he's one of the main ones that I saw the most of. And he worked two full-time jobs. He would get home 30 minutes before midnight and talk about putting his workout in. That's hustling.
Yeah,
That's
He said workouts in emergency rooms, hospital rooms, on the side of the road.
Yeah, he just got that concrete job. He was doing the stuff with catering, and then he also had to prep the newborn nursery. And everybody's like, I got like 30 minutes, and
washing buses too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dude is just blue collar as it gets, working for his family, man.
Absolutely.
And you know what he does though? He recognizes exactly what you talked about. That gift for yourself, that investment in yourself is all of that. He's not doing that for himself. He's working for his family. But the thing that he can do is take that minimum 30 minutes and reward himself, because you earn it. You do. And you are worth it, no matter who you are, no matter where you're starting, no matter where you are or where you want to be. You're worth it. You're always worth it.
Yeah.
And the everyday mindset, it's not for everyone. I think I think Boz would be an everyday if he could, if work didn't get in the way too much. But
no, it's just my own lack of self-discipline.
Well, there you go. Boz is a bitch, and sexy bitch. But it just it is what it is. But with Jesse, it's like it's so cool to see him just keep it going. And there are some people out there that are claiming larger active streaks, but I never seen them work out. Not that a tree, if you don't hear it falling in the forest, doesn't mean it didn't fall. But let's see.
I'm gonna fly the flag a little bit for the people who don't do every day though, because I don't want those to be. There's a lot of talk of streaks. Streaks are amazing and very impressive, and I would never do them down. But those who decide 3 times a week works for them. If you're killing it, you're killing it.
Absolutely.
Don't feel like we're disparaging you here, because we're not. Because I'm one of you.
It's whatever you need it to be. Really, that's what it comes down to. Even if it's just once a week, that gives you something that belongs to you. That's good. But just for me personally, it helps me manage my stress, because I, like Jesse, right? He works 2 jobs. I run a company. So you guys, I don't know what your marital statuses are, your relationships, like
married, engaged, married.
All right. You're trying
In fact, you've met my wife, and I think it was in the changing rooms at the PC, and you had quite a profound effect on her, and she wanted to make sure I send you her regards this evening.
Good. So, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. But you guys try to keep one woman happy. One, right? You know how difficult that is. My company is primarily women, so try to make 700 women happy on a daily basis. It is extremely stressful because everybody comes from different backgrounds, and of course, especially the last year and a half with COVID. I mean, people are depressed, they're anxious, they're uncertain, it's just been such a difficult time for so many people. And, it comes out in different ways, and sometimes it gets like, targeted at me because a lot of people view me as like a mother figure. And, when you're having a shitty day, who can you blame? But, she's still going to love you anyway, your mom. So, that's kind of what I deal with a lot. I have a staff of 18 full-time people in my office, and then the field reps who sell for me. So it's just constant stress, it's
Were you able to switch your business model to online fairly quickly? Because I guess that's what you had to do. Like, you had to keep the parties going, but doing the Zoom or whatever.
Yep. So we started doing Zoom parties, which isn't the same because it's not like, you
can't hand it around.
Put a sex toy in someone's hand and they go, wow, I really want to have this.
You need to, it's like a motorcycle. You need to feel the revs to know if it's going to do the job.
Yes. You want to feel it. You want to hear how fast it goes, how loud it goes, how fast it goes. And, so we lost a lot of that, ability to have the touchy-feely type of, experience. And, it's not the same. So our sales just started, going down, and it was such a scary thing. So every day coming home and getting on the mat, I could breathe, and it was like a transition for me to go from, all right, the stress of work and what's going on, and COVID and the effect that it's having on my staff members who are, they have kids at home now that they have to, do schoolwork with, play teacher with, and this one's scared of getting COVID, this one's brother just was diagnosed, this one has their best friends in the hospital with COVID. I mean, just managing all the crisis everywhere, so to come home and just unroll my mat, set up my camera, and just lay there and breathe for 2 minutes. I never go directly to the spot where you start working out. It says go, yes or no. Do you want to, go to? I
get pissed when I click no and then it starts with
Right.
an intro.
No,
I'm the opposite of you.
Always.
I'm like,
So you don't want to listen to the 2 minutes of inspiration. I listen to that every freaking day with DDP going. You can do this. You can, all the inspiring things that he says. You can do it, own it.
There's a bit in that video. There's one of the guys talking, and it's just the way it's edited, and they talk about their first experience with the workout, and he's like, "Yeah, it could be better." And the first time I heard that, I thought he was talking about DDPY.
Oh, the football guys.
Yeah, you'll never not hear that now when you listen to that intro. Yeah, it could be better.
Yeah, I'm not what I think it'll be. Yeah. So those 2 minutes of the day are probably the most critical, because I literally just lay there and breathe and tell myself, you're home now. You deserve to just relax, take these big deep breaths, and just think about nothing but your body right now, and how you're gonna, let go of the stress of the day and give this gift to yourself. So that's probably the most important 2 minutes of my day, literally, is that transition from being at work and whatever stressful situation, whatever's going on, and into just focusing on my body. And that's,
with that mindset, it's a daily thing, and it's as important to you as your evening meal.
Totally.
By the sounds of it. So,
brushing my teeth,
yeah, exactly.
It's that thing that you do every day that it just is good for your body, good for your health. For sure.
So with what you do for a living, and then obviously incorporating peripherals into that space, are there any novelties that you would recommend Tom purchase to bring in onto the mat to improve his performance?
I already bring the flashlight in there, so let's see what else we got.
What else you got?
Gosh,
it makes planks super interesting.
I wish I would have known you guys would have talked to me about sex toys, because I would have brought an array of things.
No, actually, we're going to talk to you about our ideas in a minute, but I want to know what you would tell.
This is now Shark Tank.
Shark Tank.
So
and you're the one shark.
You talk about blood flow, right? So one of the things that we sell that is really awesome is a penis ring that has a remote control. So you wear it, and your partner can turn you on or turn you off.
That's the jack strap we've been talking about. We've been talking about that jack strap.
Yes, yeah.
Right. So it's like a penis strap, right? And your partner can turn it on and give you a little buzz, which is really cool if you're at the grocery store or out at a restaurant.
It's the biggest smile I've ever seen on Tom's face since
Off the record. This gets cut immediately.
Okay, so yes, so
I had to share that with you guys. I'm sorry.
So
perfect. So you'd recommend that?
Cock ring's awesome, and especially with the remote, because your partner can turn you on, and we have that also for a female too, where you can insert this. It's just a little small silicone vibe, and on the outsides, almost like a butterfly, so it covers the clitoris, which is really nice. So you're getting full coverage. You're hitting your G-spot and your clitoris at the same time, and your partner can have a remote, so you can each be turning each other on, wherever you are. So that's really
that would make workouts a lot more interesting.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it sure would. It sure would. So that's one of my favorite things.
Arms out to a T, flat back. Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, just don't be hitting that button in Wrap and Burn or something.
Okay, so now we had talked when we initially talked about bringing you on, and we were trying to think of a fun segment.
Yes.
So being that you do what you do, we had the idea that we would try and promote a product to you to sell.
Okay,
so
let's see it.
Travis, you want to take the lead?
Sure, why not? We'll just go on with the Shamrock name, and thanks to my good friend Ryan Hoves, I have the Shamcock towel, and it has a hole in the center for easy cleanup.
It's really good. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. Sham cock.
Saves on socks.
Socks and a T-shirt from the side of the bed is sometimes an insensitive gesture. Like, here you go, honey.
Insensitive.
I'm gonna go make a sandwich. Here you go.
Hilarious.
You clean up.
Yeah.
Sham cock. We do have after sex towels and after sex wipes, which are really good. But I love like the idea of a sham cock towel with a glory hole in it. I just think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
What?
I'm sending a prototype to you.
The sham cock.
Make sure it's brand new. Make sure it's not used, you shit.
You dirty bastard.
Towel, your get lucky wiener cleaner.
Hey, I love it.
He's writing it down.
He's writing it down. He's calling the patent office right now. He's like, I'm patenting this shit because Jen
right, I wrote it
not
down.
marketing this.
We have shamrock nipple pasties that are really awesome, and they say "Lucky You" on them. What's
You'll
really
see
cool-
that on the Shamrock Nation. in
Jason
probably
Sparks
3
will be
days
wearing
again.
them.
You
in the
have got
next
to hook him
video.
up with those. Definitely.
So we can have like the shamcock towel for him and the shamrock nipple pasties for her. So you can have like
love
this
it.
the
I
get
love
lucky
it.
the get lucky set.
Yeah.
Nice.
So are you Irish? Is that why it's the shamcock towel or?
Yeah,
And
that's
yes,
the part
sir.
I claim. I'm a mutt, but yeah, Mahaffey's my last name, and trace some back to Ireland. And 23andMe says I'm 83% Irish, so
And he's 1/8 leprechaun.
there you go. There you go.
That's our trip. That's the next Athena's trip. Is we're going to Ireland for summer solstice of 2022.
You looking for new employees?
Yeah, a few days in Ireland, and then we're flying
Travis is in sales.
to Amsterdam. Yeah,
Oh,
so we're
nice.
gonna do
Yeah.
half
I am in
Amsterdam,
sales.
half Ireland.
He sells
And
large
Oh, me.
cylindrical
I'm
items.
actually getting out of the sugar business and into the sugar business, if you know what I mean.
Tell you what, I'll
Give me
meet you
some
there. It's about a
chicken
40-minute flight from here. So.
I'm Ryanair though.
Oh yeah, Amsterdam's very close. Yeah.
Are there DDP yoga folks in Ireland? Do you know if there?
Oh, yeah.
There
Yeah.
are. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, because
Okay,
that's
couple.
going to be like my next place to do.
You'll have to do a
yoga.
roll call in the group. And
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that. I'm doing so that'll be I've done DDP yoga in 11 states so far. So I keep I have a map where I fill it in whenever I go somewhere and do DDPY in a different
Nice.
state. Because I would go visit goddesses in Maine, so I'd be in a hotel. So I'm like, well, I get to do it in Maine, color in Maine, New Hampshire, color it in, and then when I go on the DDP yoga retreat, the workshops at WrestleMania, that I can fill in those places like Louisiana, Texas, California. So
You've
that's
got to come to the UK. You can tick off four countries in 6 hours. There's not many places you can do that.
Yeah, I've been to London twice, which is just those are like dream vacations.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Beatles fan, so it was fun to be able
okay.
to go and do some Beatles stuff out there. Yeah,
Have you
but
done DDPY here? That's the thing.
I have not done DDPY there. Buckingham Palace, rocking some moves in front of there. I've done it in Mexico, Jamaica, Bermuda. So going to different islands and doing it there is a lot of fun too. And what's super cool is sometimes my friends will jump in and do it with me. I've done it on a cruise ship.
Nice.
Hawaii was
Nice.
fun. Hiked up a mountain and well, I did not do it on the nude beach. I went to a nude beach in Hawaii and I was like,
Right.
Coward.
I know. I
I
don't
would
think
just
I
do
should
chair force at that one. That would be fine.
Hey, now I have done it nude, and I
breathing.
was at a hotel room once, and I was there for like 3 or 4 days, and I didn't want to have my clothes all wet and stinky for because you're not washing clothes in a hotel.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, shit, maybe I just throw a few towels down over my mat and just it's liberating doing it in the nude. It really is.
Yeah, I've done it.
And then he went on the terrace and he'd sunned his no.
Is that when
class
Tom walked
was-
in on you in the hotel?
I also love doing it in Halloween and getting dressed up in a Halloween costume. I've done that a couple times. I did
You
my
did
Wonder
Ooh.
Wonder
Woman.
Woman
Yeah,
this year, I think. Yep.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
Wonder
that's cool.
Woman and the Wicked Witch. That was a lot of fun too.
Yeah,
You
we
guys-
did that this year too. I was Richard Simmons.
And that was
as an
perfect.
instructor.
You had the wig on,
Yeah.
the fro. I saw that. That was great.
Yeah.
So
So
Tom,
sorry.
Oh,
then
I
Tom,
was taking over there.
What product you got, Tom?
yeah.
Okay.
I
What's
didn't know
your
we had
pitch
to
for the
prepare a
tank?
product.
Oh,
I would like-
Do you each have a product for me? So the Shamcock towel.
Well, I hope he has one.
Are you guys in the supplement industry? Because I wouldn't mind having a branded cock pill.
We do
'Cause
not.
I get mine at the
It's
gas
literally
station.
going to be called. It's going to be called gas station cockpill.
Correct.
And
Gas station dick
sold
pill.
at gas stations.
Correct.
I don't know. Do I trust those? Not really.
They're the best.
My
Why
husband
wouldn't
always
you?
grabs those stupid things that's like tiger pills or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
what
Well,
Cobra
the key,
Six.
the key, Jennifer, is you actually have to chase them with Four Loko.
It's a catalyst. It's a catalyst for a certain
catalyst.
effect. You want a specific effect. It's your dick pill and then your Four Loko, and then it's a party.
Yep.
Okay,
Saying
so
Breaking
we're
Bad.
gonna have a supplement, the Dr. Tom Jack
Dr.
strap
Tom's gas
supplement.
station dick pill. And direction number
The-
1,
oh,
buy
you
Four
call it-
Loko.
Buy
You
Four
could have your
Loko.
own cock ring, the jack off strap.
We could.
There you go.
Mhm.
With my
That would be-
signature on. It's gonna be a hand like this.
Certified by.
Instead of the diamond cutter, it's like this.
There it is.
All right.
So this-
So
Okay, what else
I'm
you got?
gonna go
I
with.
just-
Well, I've got burn the boats tattooed, and that's what I teach under. So I'm gonna go with burn the boats warming lubrication,
Mhm.
and in the same vein of once you start, you can never go back.
Vein?
Same idea. And once you use it, you never want to perform without it.
Ooh, I love that. Let's
Yep.
do that. But we don't want to burn the little man in the boat, though. We just want to burn the
No,
boat.
no,
Like burning
just
is
the boat.
probably all bad.
Just the boat.
Your next tattoo is gonna say "warm the boat."
That's great. I love it. All right. So far, that is like 2 thumbs up, that idea.
That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
All
say
right,
Tom,
Boz.
What you got, Boz?
Tom didn't know he had to prepare anything. If only we had some kind of chat group for planning the show. But anyway, I've written mine down.
Is that in there?
He's got a
There.
PowerPoint. He's got.
So, this is the back on track whip and smack rack. Okay, so this is my design here. I know it's not
Okay.
very original, and these exist already, but you've got jack straps at the top here. I have to get my finger the right way around for tying the top hands. And then we've got green furry cuffs at the bottom because we have the
Of course, they have to
Frankenstein
be
kind of
furry.
thing.
Okay.
And because of the Frankenstein thing, you've got 2 bolts, one either side, which you can use as additional tether points, if you like. And then, again, going with the Frankenstein theme, we have a little lightning rod antenna thing here. So if you want some kind of electrical stimulation, you can bring that into the mix. So
I think
That's
that's
my-
really cool. Mhm.
I think it's brilliant.
I like that a lot. So we're hitting a lot of different types of kinks and desires. So we've got some S&M and
yeah, got to
position-
represent.
so restraint play with Boz. I like that. We've got clean up with you. Dr. Tom is going
Straight
to
up
have
performance.
his
Straight up performance. I'm a performance expert. That's all I
this
focus
is
on.
like this is like the whole
efficiency.
evening. Like this is a date night set. Like we can have all 4
Could
things
be.
together.
Yeah, it sure is.
You know,
You can
believe it or
incorporate
not,
all 4, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
this is how we all came together as a podcast. It was
It's our starter
this-
pack. Yep.
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 Different kinks. No kink shaming here.
Well, let's do that, guys. We got to put that together, and we call it the DDPY performance pack.
There you go.
It's the max pack with 3 extras.
There you go.
I was just gonna say Max.
Fantastic. And a good thing I love about that is you could tell none of us conferred because obviously Tom didn't know he had to. And ours didn't
It's
clash.
definitely-
So it's,
You quick.
Yeah.
And let's see. Well, I would worry if we call it the DDP because people might think it stands for double penetration. Like,
I get that a lot here. A lot.
That's encouraged.
Yeah.
No, this is Dime Dal's page. We definitely have to talk to him about this.
Yeah.
Make
Does,
sure
does your
it's okay.
autocorrect? Does your autocorrect on the phone fuck that up a lot? When you're
Always.
trying to talk about that, and then they're like, "What's DDP? Tell me." more."
Tell me more.
Sorry, that's my yoga. My yoga.
Oh, my bad. Wrong group, guys.
You just go, yes, it stands for double penetration. Yes.
Nobody
Did it
wants
twice
a
and
diamond
twice.
cutter in their vagina, though. Like that's for sure. Like, they're like, what?
If any show is going to get us a cease and desist, it is this one. I love it.
There it is.
Proudly.
So,
No, you can't because Dallas loves her, and
Yeah.
we're okay.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, he does
It's
love
a-
me.
it's
I'm
an easy
Double
out.
J. I'm his Double
right.
J. I love that.
Amazing. And better than the original Double J. So
Who's the original Double J?
Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, Jeff Jarrett. Okay.
JEFF.
AJ Dillon? Like which? Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's an
there you
OJ too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a couple kinks there.
Well, I mean, you guys all know Lanny Poffo's parlor trick, right? Like, if you're a wrestling fan,
I've never seen it.
Lanny Poffos, but you've heard about it. Have you ever?
Oh yes.
No clue.
When I first met Lanny,
Travis, you can do it.
when I first met Lanny, he was telling us, like, he was reading limericks to me and my friends. Like we had, like, passes to meet him, and so he was like just off the top of his head telling us these dirty limericks, and we were laughing. And one was about an guy who could suck his own dick because it was so big, right? So now my friend and I, we go back.
Sorry, Graham.
We go back to the hotel that night. My friend and I are laying in bed, and she goes, "How old do you think Lanny Poffo is?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like 55." So she Googles Lanny Poffo, and up comes the first thing she sees. She's like, "Oh my God, he can auto-fillet himself. That would have been useful to know a few hours ago to be able to talk to him about that." And then on his podcast, that was like the first thing he talks about. If you listen to Lanny's podcast, the very first one, that's the very first thing. They get it out in the open right away. I'm like,
If you could do that, you get bragging rights. There's no two ways about that. Like removing a rib,
I'm waiting for that first person to say, "Why did you start DDP yoga?" And they're going to go, "Autofellatio."
Lanny Poffo.
That's what my friends actually told me I started it for.
Yep, exactly. That's it's
Travis,
such a funny way.
Travis, if you're looking for a unique hook for your flexibility classes, I mean, you could be onto something there.
absolutely, this is the autofellatio move.
Just let it relax.
In fact, Trav, we teach plow, do we not? That's very close already.
Really close.
Really close. Yeah.
Which moves do you think you could do in the bedroom with your partner to make sex better? Like which moves, like, do you think?
What, during?
Yeah.
I mean, just think Red Hot Core. You've got MSM. You've got
Yeah.
Eagle. You've got Dead Bug. You've got
Happy Porn Star, HBS.
Happy Born to HBS.
Catcher.
sure. Mountain climbers are a bit aggressive, but you just.
When you grab someone's head.
Hey, look, we said no kink shaming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love cat lift and cat arch. That's a
There you
good
go.
one. Yeah, when my husband met DDP for the first time, we were at the Rhode Island Comic-Con, and he reaches out, shakes DDP's hand, and he's like, "Hey, thanks for restoring my 1971 Jenny,"
Oh wow.
which is pretty cool because I was never very flexible, and after I had two babies and put on a lot of weight, and just went from when he married me, I was a size 5, and then went up to like a size 12 and pushing a 14, and so I wasn't really happy, like you said earlier. Like when you're just not happy with your body, you don't feel very sexy. But here I am, like this, I'm the sex toy goddess. I better figure this out, So when I lost all that weight and just got all my curves back, he loved that. He loved just that my body got back to like what it was when I was younger and got married. First getting married, and that's like it's pretty awesome to do for your partner too. Like to not only look sexy but feel sexy, and it gives you more confidence in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Which is just
Banana split. There you go.
Banana split. That's another really good one.
I mean, you referenced.
I'm not saying which person.
Bird of Paradise.
Yes. That's a good one.
I'm a big fan of the slow burn punches, but maybe that's just my thing.
Maybe the quick switches too.
We build up to it.
I think we've done every move in the program at this point. So.
They all apply.
It's a different version of the Diamond Dozen. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, love the Diamond Dozen.
So Jennifer, every show we ask a question about a hypothetical fist fight, and originally I was going to ask DDP who's going to win, DDP, Ron Swanson, because I saw that Nick Offerman signed one of your bras, and big Ron Swanson guy. And then Minerva McGonagall, who's the head of Gryffindor, but Minerva is the Roman version of the Greek goddess Athena, so it would have worked well. But now that you've told us who your favorite wrestlers are, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to make you choose your boy DDP, Piper, or Wyndham.
To what? To have sex with?
You want to put that out there?
Different kind of fist fight.
I thought this was like kind of like, what is that game? Kill, marry.
Yeah, MFK.
Mary Kill?
Yeah. So
This is the fist fight thing.
Fist fight.
Okay.
Who you got? Who you putting money on?
In that fight, all right. So Roddy, DDP, or Barry Windham.
Only one's alive to know what you say.
Oh my God, I owe so much to DDP. So I would definitely want him to be around forever.
Just bear in mind that Rowdy Roddy Piper knew how to summon Cthulhu, so he gets an advantage. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes. Would he have a coconut handy if he went after DDP with a coconut? Would DDP's skull be able to handle that? And then you have Barry Windham, who's just so sexy. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with DDP. I'm gonna go with
Big win.
He's running away with it at the moment.
That's what is that? 5? Is that 5?
6, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think Roddy could get the sleeper hold on DDP?
I thought you were
tall
going to
enough.
go with Wyndham purely just for teenage you, and then we were all going to scold you for not choosing Roddy.
Roddy's so great. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
He was like meeting him. He was so gracious and so wonderful. And man, it was like the thrill of a lifetime to meet Roddy Piper. Really. Oh my gosh. And you know, like when I was like, did you guys go through a phase where you thought wrestling was real, or did you always think it was a
Is it fake?
When I was in first grade and the Undertaker put Ultimate Warrior in a casket,
Okay.
I called 911.
You did?
I did. Saturday morning wrestling.
Yep.
My mom was at work. I was genuinely concerned. I thought that Undertaker killed Ultimate Warrior.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
Wish I could get that
I wish we
recording.
could get that 911. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. So wish we had that.
So no, never
bless
thought it was
you.
real ever.
When I thought it was
To answer your question.
when I thought it was real, like I really hated Roddy Piper because, you know, he kicked Cyndi Lauper. That was it. I mean, I was like so angry and, you know, hated his guts and, you know, and then like you learn to love him, you know, that WrestleMania where he walked out rather than getting, was it WrestleMania 3, 5? Which one was that? Where he walked out instead of taking the little. Yeah, the little ride in the
Those
fake.
carts were hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got a wicked poster. I love that musical.
I do. It's like one of
Sorry.
my favorite, you know? That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I was
That's
never a
one
wrestling fan, but there will definitely never be I mean, Roddy was one of a kind. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that even if you're not a fan or a mark, you know, people are like, oh yeah, Roddy, that dude's dope. Like
Yeah.
Pop culture icon. For
yeah,
sure.
and his gear is huge right now in streetwear culture. Like you can go to like a Zumez or any kind of like high end store and it's like vintage hot rod shirts
Yeah.
that used to be $19 and you can still go to Walmart and buy one on a Gildan tee for $20, but they're selling them on like a Gucci tee for like $350.
Wow.
And yeah, it's crazy. He's become that part of the zeitgeist. It's
Wow.
unreal.
As he should, because
yeah.
he really knew how to get you to make you so angry and so incensed. You know, he really, when he was a heel, he was.
Yeah, and it was real
was the
heat.
best.
It was never go away heat. It was always he made that crowd hate him, and you loved hating him.
Yeah.
Loved hating him, and that's what I said to him when I met him. I was like, I loved hating you, but then I loved loving you even more. And he's like, oh, that's so sweet. I get to meet him 4 times before he died, which was really spectacular.
Oh, wow.
And I went to a WrestleMania after party, and he was there with Hacksaw and, you know, Brett, and just, you know, just to be at a WrestleMania after party and look around and just see everybody mingling and just being a fly on the wall for that was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Wow.
I sat at a table with Pat Patterson, DDP, Razor Ramon, and Sean Waltman.
Nice.
So it was quite an interesting table to sit at.
I know who some of those people are.
Pat Patterson, first Intercontinental Champion. Razor Ramon, Scott Hall,
Oh yeah, I know him.
and Sean Waltman.
I've met him
X-Pac.
actually.
Sean Waltman is X-Pac
Sorry.
or Six or the 1-2-3 Kid.
Yeah, one, two,
He was
three,
also
four.
part of the NWO. I'm actually our friends just found out they're having a boy, and I'm trying to convince him to name his son either Razor Ramon or Scott Hall, all one word. So far, it's not going well, but I'm trying. I'm not going to give up.
Edge. Uh-huh. That's so great. Who's your favorite wrestlers, guys? I told you mine were. Who are yours?
Currently, favorite wrestler is Kenny Omega.
Okay.
Historically, all time, it's probably Shawn Michaels or Razor. So,
All right.
I'm a big Ric Flair guy. Can't beat
Yeah.
Ric Flair. Yeah.
Woo!
When I was a wrestling fan, back when I was a kid, it was Tommy Wildfire Rich.
Oh, Wildfire.
Rich. Mm-hmm. How about you, Boz?
Boz's favorite wrestler is Grado. He's trying to find the video. Is
No. I've just got to find, because you're not going to know who I'm talking about.
Johnny Saint.
Right. My favourite wrestler Oh, come on, open the stupid thing. Honestly. Oh,
Shock
now,
mask.
now I get a cookie warning. Yes, thank you. Right. My favorite wrestler is Big Daddy. This
Big
is Big Daddy.
Yeah, we know Big Daddy.
You know Big Daddy?
Yeah, he was a big guy. Well, he just wasn't huge over here, but we know of the legend.
Big
of
Daddy and Giant Haystacks. That's what I grew up on.
Okay.
They could barely walk, let alone wrestle. And,
They were attractions. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
and you know, my...
Go ahead.
That's gonna be mean. Don't worry.
So, are any of you watching wrestling now, currently?
Not much WWE. It's gotten really hard to watch with creative. Watch AEW a bit. So.
Yeah, did you watch it this past week with Jericho and Nick Gage?
Nick Gage.
Yes. Nick Gage, not a Nick Gage fan. I'm not a deathmatch guy. Like I love the idea of it. I just don't like watching it. I'm not a fan of.
Do they have BFGs? I mean, that would make it more interesting.
Yeah, no, it's mostly light tubes. Lots of light tubes.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Cutter.
a really interesting segment where they were in a commercial break, and Nick Gage's gimmick is he brings in a pizza cutter to the ring, and he slices open his opponent's head, which he really does.
Yikes.
And they did it right as a fucking Domino's commercial was running.
Nice.
Just picture in picture.
Right.
Extra sauce, please.
So, but here's the thing: is all of a sudden there's all these reports about Domino's being pissed off about this, that they could not have done that. Turns out WWE planted a story with a reporter via Twitter, paid him to write that fucking story so it would gain traction. And now Domino's is like, we've never had any fucking problem with it. But
wow,
when everybody thought it was happening, PBR was like, well, we thought it was fucking great, and Nick Gage loves PBR. We want to sponsor AEW. And AEW is like, yeah, let's talk. And so they've got a new sponsor with PBR, and then Domino's is like, no, we're fucking good with it too. So now they got two sponsors. So totally backfired on Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah.
that's phenomenal. Good for AEW. You know, you want to see the little guy do well. You know, and when we were at the summit, do you remember Cody showing up?
Oh yes,
That
absolutely.
was pretty cool. That was neat to see Cody. You know, that was
Cody and Justin
I was like,
Roberts.
he walked in and I went.
Roberts was there. That's the announcer for AEW was there.
Oh, was he? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Right.
Yeah, he was the guy that came with Cody. That was he's kind of held
Cody
on to
walked in, I saw his hair and his jacket, and I went, oh, he must be a wrestler.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
His
He was
hair
very
is
nice.
yellow.
It took him almost an hour to get in the building, but he stood outside and talked to every single person. I mean,
Incredible.
nothing but respect.
Yeah, incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Did you go to the wrestling event that was after like the
The
summit?
SHW one? Hell yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that
a
was
ton of
pretty
fun.
That was my first ever live wrestling show, and it gave me a greater appreciation for the art, I have to say.
I didn't know who anyone was, so I just sat there screaming, "You suck!" like that.
We had the best heckler in that room sitting 3 chairs away, and he made my fucking evening. Because okay, so they did that, I think I've told this already, sorry, but they had it in a church hall, which is where they did their wrestling thing, and as you walked in, there was a prayer wall. And they did this bit at the end where they ripped all the mats up off the stage and they head dropped somebody onto the wooden planks. And he just went, "Take it to the prayer wall!"
I sat next to the guy that was continuously calling Danny trash. For
She
pretty
loves
much
that.
The entire night. I know. But it was like he had it on repeat. Just a button he was going to hit.
He just kept saying the same thing over and over again.
It was worth it, though. It was a great time. I sat in front of the "It's Still Real to Me, Damn It."
Oh yeah, Dave.
How about this?
Yeah.
How about this then?
He's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I sat in front of him.
Do wrestlers sometimes go overboard with the shit that they do? Like, for example, I don't know storylines, I don't know shit, but I do follow Danny, and I saw that like her book got broken the other day. Was that like planned, or is that like somebody goes rogue and just fucks
Probably a
her
little
shit
bit
up?
of both.
Yeah.
It all depends. It all depends on that. I mean, it could have been a receipt, which, you know, if she maybe
you.
didn't pull a punch enough, maybe that's what you do, or it's planned, or it's a great way if Danny wants to get away from that gimmick. How do you get away from that gimmick? Well, it got destroyed, so now you have to find something new. So you just never know.
I actually commented, I'm surprised it hadn't happened before now.
Right. It's a great character, but I think you can only go so far with it, and I think she has a real opportunity, especially with all the work she's put in outside of the ring, both nutrition and in her physical appearance. She's got a huge chance to be signed, and I think that, you know, maybe there's something she's working with all the guys at the Nightmare Factory right now, and maybe they're developing a new character. You don't know.
Yeah.
So, but that's probably one of the more interesting things about wrestling is finding all that stuff, that fly on the wall stuff, and all the behind the scenes things. And it's definitely a different approach to watching the product, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stomach WWE. I tried to I just like, man, this Fiend thing, it's just so stupid.
It's so scummy.
Bootios, I'm like, I just can't. It's just,
I can't hate the New Day. I
hate New Day. I'm like, this is so stupid.
They're just fun.
Yeah,
that's my kind of. That's I like.
Yeah.
It's okay to be stupid sometimes, but
yeah,
and my kids love them, so that's always good.
The heyday is just like gone for me, so what I love to do now to fill my like wrestling passion is listening to the podcast. I love listening to Jim Cornette and Bruce Pritchard and just have them tell their stories. I love Dockside of the Ring on Vice.
Oh, so good.
Phenomenal. I mean, just so good. The Chris Benoit, the Owen Hart episodes were just so fabulous.
Great
so
series
good.
in general.
Oh yeah, right. They're doing it right. The Ultimate Warrior one was really good. Did you go to
back to this? Do we need to talk trademarks and like production
definitely.
runs?
Copyright. You definitely.
How many units? First off,
minimum.
We need
first
to find
runs.
an engineer, right, who can make that for us. Now, what is it made out of? Is it made out of wood or metal or like? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking industrial polyurethane.
Okay.
Rich mahogany.
It's got to be wiped clean.
The finest leather straps.
We have
galvanized steel.
Tom's got a line on the jack straps for me, so that's sorted.
Correct. Going to have,
can you help me with the green furry cuffs at the bottom?
Are we going to get like Velcro, so we can put the DDPY jack strap logo on it?
Well, I mean, that's subject to licensing, isn't it? I mean, I don't have to use a rock cuff.
All right.
But
Steve
might have to.
We'll be all right.
We could actually. Oh, can you not put the logo on? Did I just do something wrong? No.
No, we just haven't signed that particular licensing deal yet. But I mean, there's other companies. Rock cuffs might be brought in.
What would be really cool is if we make a special like holder for the lube, for the warming lube, right? So that like you can access it easily, like on the rack, and also
that can go on. That can go on one of these style bolts at the side here. So
we can also have a hook for the Shamcock towel. So easy access for the Shamcock towel.
And we can have
all there.
A pill dispenser on the top.
Brings
it all together.
I agree. I'm telling you, this is a date night for couples who've been married a long time. It'll really put the spark back in their relationship for sure.
That's what
we'll
we do.
Talk offline and we'll do figures and we'll get it going.
So, Tom, you had something you were going to do a rundown real quick today or no?
I don't have a segment, but I think you guys saw a picture that I posted on the DDPY Facebook page. So I was at the gas station the other day, obviously, again, to buy Four Loko and dick pills. Boz is going to put the picture up in post. It is a picture of, we're talking about truth in advertising. We were talking about food label fuckery. So I found this awful one. We will say anything in the industry right now to kind of sell a product. Winston Cigarettes now claims that they have 100% plant-based menthol in their cigarettes. So the word plant-based, you see this used everywhere now. Yep. It's just ridiculous. So cigarettes, of all things, are now going to be considered as a plant-based product. Now, cigarettes are already plant-based. It's tobacco. And there's another... I just don't know what to say about that. When we say about the scummy things that we've seen, I told you guys the other day, we saw a bag of potatoes that said gluten-free on it. Come on. We saw pork tenderloin that said gluten-free. Come on. So now we have cigarettes claiming to be 100% plant-based menthol in the cigarettes. So I'm going to if we ever see any stuff like that, let me know. Send it to the show, because I'm going to put together a compilation of all just the shittiest products on the planet that have just making these horrible claims just to get some sort of extra traction. If someone buys that cigarette because it's plant-based, God bless those vegans. So
it's plant-based, but is it vegan?
I got called out the other day because I said the vegan.
That not all plants are vegan.
Because I had a house guest yesterday who is vegan, and we were trying we thought we'd prepped and we were, we had stuff. So, white wine, have some. I'm just checking if it's vegan. Like, how could white wine not be vegan? It's like made of grapes. And she's like, because they filter it like through a horse skull or something. I can't remember what she said, but it's like, no, they're seriously, they use animal products in the filtration, which means vegans, like a morally objecting vegan, won't use it because it's an animal byproduct, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But how the fuck are they
so much we don't know?
Yeah,
so much we don't know.
The filtration process, literally, like the carbon, maybe one of the compounds along with the carbon or whatever is bone.
Oh, and it was fish. Fish as well. They use
interesting
filtration. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
I
I
had
mean,
no
it goes,
idea.
Tom, it goes right up there with like the post that we saw maybe a year and a half ago when it's like when Oreos introduced a gluten-free Oreo, and somebody in the group was like, "Of course they put these out now. Now that I'm not eating them." I'm like,
Still good that you're not eating them.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
Full of sugar.
Not the time, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Tom, are you gluten free?
I'm not currently gluten free now,
Okay.
and I've done it before, and it just never really made any sort of difference for me. I don't consume a lot of gluten products anyway, but I never had any sort of reaction. However, I have some clients that literally, if they eat a roll on a Friday night, their weight goes up 3 pounds the next day when they do their weigh-in, and they just get so inflamed. So I know there's a lot to it. I did a whole segment about, the kind of the industry and stuff like that, where it's kind of murky of, whether or not you need to be gluten-free, but if it works for you, that's awesome. If it doesn't work for you, it's not, you don't have to be demonized if you decide to eat some flour,
Yeah.
What am I?
How about keto? Are any of you keto? I can't figure that out, but I'm definitely gluten free. I have a thyroid issue, and like inflammation in the body from gluten. I decided to like get rid of it all. No more, bread, cupcakes, cake, all of that, cookies.
no
galore.
cupcake. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just do high protein, moderate fat, low carb, all macro based eating with a calorie limit for the day.
So he's pretty damn close to keto.
Yeah, it's pretty close, but yeah, not as much fat concentration. And
Okay.
I think the difference is if you can eat very close to a ketogenic diet, and you can get some of the ketogenic benefits without being. If you say I am eating in a ketogenic way, that
I'm
means
not looking to hit ketosis.
you are tracking your ketones and trying to keep in ketosis. That's the only difference between a low carb diet and really that's the line you cross. So
Gotcha.
you've got to be super disciplined and super nerdy, I think, to do full keto. I did it for 2 years solid, pretty much. Didn't experience huge weight loss, but my body shape changed quite dramatically. Good. So I felt amazing, but I love food too much. So there were too many things I was cutting out that I lacked the discipline to stay away from, basically. So I found a happy balance away from that, but still staying as low carb as I can manage to. And I'm sort of maintaining higher than I want to. I guess that's where I'm at right now.
Higher than I want, but I ain't going anywhere up.
Yeah, I'm not going up.
That's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
My menu's shit. All I eat is cheeseburgers and steak and cheese sandwiches.
But does 400 workouts a day, so it doesn't matter.
How many minutes of DDPY do you each do every day?
45 to 90.
Okay.
I'm probably around the same. I teach I teach 60 hours or 60 minutes a day.
Okay.
And then my own working on top of that, so it's about 90 minutes usually.
I plead the fifth.
Usually 2 classes a day, so roughly 120 minutes, something like that.
Are you Boz?
Mine had averaged to 20 minutes a day.
Yeah. Are you all instructors?
Yes.
Nearly.
Yeah. I've got my I just have to record the Diamond Dozen. Sorry, I have an alert at work. Our alarms are going off.
I had signed up to become an instructor and then broke my back, and so I just never got back to it after that because it was just such a long road to recovery. And then when I was back, the pandemic hit, and my business was thrown into chaos. My life was thrown into chaos, so I just haven't been able to give it the attention that it deserves. What tips do you have for being a level 1 instructor in training?
In your case, do it, because I think you'll be a fucking amazing instructor.
Yeah.
Guys,
being that I'm not fully certified, I don't know if I'm qualified to give that, but I will say find your own way to do it. Even if it is the L1 workout, find your own way to do that workout, because it can come off as extremely scripted and extremely robotic. I mean, you're in sales. I'm sure you have a sales script.
Of course.
But you don't want every single one of your people walking out there with that same thing. You want literally make it your own. It's a tenet of the program in many facets. And I think that's such an important thing, because you want to be the person that somebody wants to show up and work out with. And that's also, I think it's important to find that voice for retention, because everybody's willing to start at first, and then you can slowly start seeing people fall off, and it's like, well, why are they falling off? Is it because of repetition? Is it because of boredom? How can you make things a bit more interesting and keep your clientele engaged? I mean, it's literally what you do, but it's just it's in a slightly different arena.
Yeah, I used to teach the same workout every week while I was doing my practice hours, and the original L1 was very strict. The way it was done, you had to hit the certain markers. So I was really worried about repetition with my class. So all I did was switch up the playlist. So we'd have 80s one week, 90s another week, musicals another week, the sweariest songs I could find another week. And I threw a bit of that in there, but you do find your own voice as well. But I would say drill the L1 into your brain so you can do it without thinking. Then you haven't got to worry about hitting the marks you've got to. And make sure you breathe and cool the breaths. Very important.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Tom, are you training? Are you at level 2?
So I'm a level 2 instructor. But my advice, same thing that Boz says, drill that L1, just get really good at that. You already have your own voice. You already are comfortable. One of the problems that most of our students have, like if we're mentoring them, is that they don't have that voice because they're very timid about getting in front of people and giving information. You're obviously not a problem at doing that whatsoever. You've done the workouts. You know every single move probably better than anybody else does. You know all the calls that Dallas does. So you just have to just mimic that for the L1. And then just that's it. I mean, you have no problem with that.
You do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that sounds good.
The toughest thing initially is getting used to doing it whilst talking constantly. You'll notice your heart rate goes up much higher.
Breath is way different. Breath is way different.
And then you'll find once you start teaching and then you go back to your own practice, you're like all the way through the salutations of a workout and you're like, I'm still not in zone because you're not talking. And your body's used to talking while you do it, so it takes more to get you in zone. But
and if you have the ability for the recording purposes to have students that aren't 100% memorized in your workout, you'll probably be better off because the last thing you want is, number one, your students going into the moves before you're going into them. But also, it kind of makes you almost like a lazy instructor. You're not paying as close of attention because you already know they know what they're doing. So if you have some participants that you have to teach, that active teaching, you come off better, and it'll make you a stronger instructor as well.
Okay, that's great. Travis, you said you teach 2 classes a day?
Generally 2 classes a day. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I do a morning class, which some people claim is not a workout. And basically how it started was in the beginning when I was doing my L1 training, I was teaching 2 to 3 classes a day and just putting it in, just getting it in. These guys know because every time you turn around, it was Facebook Live, and I was going live teaching a class. So my body was just getting super tight. So I just kind of said this workout, I called it a wakey stretchy, is what I called it. And so I get up at first thing in the morning, and I do a really super light DDPY workout where it was no dynamic resistance in there whatsoever. It took us 18 minutes basically to get off the floor. So we started the first half just on the floor. And it kind of stuck. So 3 days a week, that's what I do, wakey stretchy. And then in the evening, I do the L1s, or I'm working on my L2s, so I throw some L2s in there as well.
Okay. Now, do you call mods for, like, so when I think about who's going to be in my class, like my practice classes, I think about my mom, and she's 70, like, or should you find people that are younger and who can hang for an hour?
They like seeing the mods in the video.
You actually have to show every mod.
Calling mods is essential.
You have to call every single one. So.
My during my L1 recording, one of the guy that I was working with, he could not come up on his toes in runner's lunge, and I made sure to reference it because, number one, you need to tell the student to do that. And then he verbally said, I can't do that. And then we talked about why. And so we talked about the best way for him to get a similar benefit. And it's those things that, Hayden even took the time to say that was the right thing to do. Even though you knew your student couldn't do that, let me know that you are aware that they should do that, and then go from there. So,
that's good. Thanks for the advice, guys. I appreciate it.
Travis, so we have one more thing that we ask every guest, and that's we have a playlist, the workout playlist, and I think we're gonna start number 3. So hopefully you guys all have a song ready. We ask every guest to add one song is their hype mix, their track that they're gonna go fucking hit the mat, and they're gonna go full bore. You're gonna red zone for the whole workout. What's the workout song that you're choosing?
All right, so get into the red zone, like, because when you're saying that, I would say,
what's your inspiring song?
I Am the Warrior by Scandal featuring Patti Smythe. That's a really, because you do warrior positions and you feel like a warrior when you're doing DDPY, so that would be one for sure. But Wasted Years by Iron Maiden would also be a song that I would put on that playlist, because that intro, it's like like you just like are totally like taken away into another dimension when you hear
And
that.
yeah,
that
you
opening
just
breath.
made a lot of DDPY people's hearts very happy. Dr. Yoga Doc being one of them by throwing Iron Maiden on that mix.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Paul being the other one.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh,
Sure.
when I went to see the Yoga Docs band, Iron Mullet, when I was at the Summit, I just was like blown away by the amount of Iron Maiden there was. I had no idea what the band was about, and it was just so many Iron Maiden songs. I was in heaven. Yeah.
Boz, do you have a song for the mix, being that this is a brand new one?
No, because I didn't prepare.
All right,
Come
Travis,
back
what
to
do
me
you
in a
got?
minute.
Oh,
I'm taking
geez.
Dr. Tom.
Did we? I thought we already started this the other playlist. Did we not?
I don't know.
Okay.
We didn't call them out publicly, so let's call them out publicly.
Oh shit! Go to Tom real quick.
All right. So I already thought I mentioned this one, but I looked back and I didn't. And "Killing in the Name of" by Rage Against the Machine.
Fantastic.
There you go.
So I'm gonna go with Tokyo Drifting by Glass Animals featuring Denzel Curry, who is like the best lyricist in the hip hop game right now. That shit slaps.
So now, do you share this playlist with
Yep.
your listeners? And
Yes.
all right, great. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put it on Spotify,
super
Apple
eclectic.
Music, and then if
And
people want
Amazon
it,
Music as well.
Okay.
So
and Amazon Music, yeah.
Tom, what was yours again?
Rage Against the Machine, "Killing in the Name of."
In the name of. All right, I have mine. Shipping off to Boston. Dropkick
Dropkick
Murphy.
Murphys.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Fair enough.
Very good.
It's
and
fun, guys.
I'll go against type, even though I'm wearing a Death t-shirt. I'm going to go Owl Nation. Anyone who's done one of my classes, you hear this song a lot.
Yep.
And it's the best. And I just want to walk a little bit taller. I just want to be a little bit stronger. I just want to be the best. It is super hella inspiring when it comes on. I love it. So
know that
Fantastic. That's
song.
AWOL Nation. Do you got that, Travis?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Boz, wrap it up, man.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
I got to
You guys,
top
you hear
up.
that?
I've got an empty glass. Make sure your beverages are ready to go. Charge your glasses.
My glass is empty
Jennifer-
too now.
Hey,
So excuse the internet fuckery we've had this evening. I dropped out and we've had some other connection issues, hence things that probably look different now we've come back. But
Yes.
glasses are ready for the end. But before we do that, Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us. Can you please tell people where to find your DDPY stuff, your awesome Athena stuff, all that?
Oh, thanks, guys. First of all, before I do that, I just want to say thank you. It was truly an honor and a lot of fun to be here with you guys. You're really an inspiration to me for, on this journey, and I'm so glad that I've been able to connect with you all here. So thank you for that. The DDPY community is one of the best parts of the workout. So thank you very much. So to find me, I'm on Facebook, Jennifer Jolicoeur. And as far as Athena's goes, if you type into the Google machine, Athena's Home Novelties, you will definitely find us there. If you want to book a party or become a goddess or just follow our adventures, get yourself some awesome romance products. AthenasHN.com is the website, and on Facebook we're Athena's Home Novelties. So find us there, like us, connect with us there. But if you want to watch my time lapses every day, you can find me at Jennifer Jolicoeur on Facebook, and I hope you will. And I was on. Oh, yeah, I should probably tell you this. Every 69th workout, because 69 is my favorite number, I give away a free Athena's product to someone who comments in my thread. So when I hit 1,669, I will give away a free Athena's product. So that's coming up not too far, maybe like a month or so. So definitely find me and follow me. And I love being part of people's journeys and making new friends with DDPY. So I hope.
Hey, a month is long enough to do a production run, so you could win a sham cop towel with a hole in the middle.
Yes.
there you go.
We got to get working
go.
on that, Travis. Let's go.
I'm on it.
All right.
These guys know I can get some damn merch done. So
He's been prototyping them for months. And as always, guys, if you want to reach out to us, you can shoot us an email at hitthematpodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube. This one had a lot of visual stuff, so if you listen, make sure you jump in and at least check out the sexy bear, check out the sexy bear's torture device, and just make sure you're aware of some of the other content we're putting out there. If you're listening to us on a podcast app, please rate, review, help us get up in the ranks. That's great. And if you want to find me, you can follow me on Instagram at Burn the Boats Fitness. You can follow the podcast at Hit the Mat Podcast, and you can follow Tom.
You can find me on Facebook, Project Mayhem. That's where we're teaching daily DDPY classes. So you can join us on Zoom anytime you want. You can also find me at Be Unstoppable Athletics on Facebook or beunstoppableathletics.com. Travis, what do you got, bud?
All right, the Real Shamrock Fitness on Instagram, Shamrock Fitness, a DDP yoga experience on Facebook, transitioncoach.ca for all of our Zoom classes with myself, Dr. Marcel Dore, and Beverly Bouma.
I love Marcel.
He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So do we.
Definitely too. Good people.
Yeah. And you can find us at Back on Track Living, DDPY, and Flexibility Coach classes on Facebook. We also are available on Patreon. Yeah, Trav, you'll be there soon enough. I should say Lavinia, actually, by the time this comes out, you will both be certified. So Travis will be a flexibility coach and my wife Lavinia will be as well. So we are going to be bringing more flexibility coach offerings, as I'm sure Travis will as well. So you will have many options and a choice of instructors. So if you hate my voice, then the smoothing tones of the Mahaffey over here to guide you to stretchiness and better times in the bedroom. So yeah, we teach Wednesdays, Saturdays, and the Sundays I'm not recording this, I'm teaching a flexibility class. Up till now, that's been the blended DDPY flexibility class. We are moving that to a full flexibility class model. So that's a change that's coming up. So I think that's everything. So
Yes.
Glasses. This has been so much damn fun. I've really enjoyed it. And
Yes.
you know, if you're easily offended and you got to this point, tough shit. Hit the mat.
Cheers.
Bye.
Better Hit the Mat podcast.
Welcome.
Jen, what's up, girl?
Hi guys, how's it going?
Good.
Sorry about my technical difficulties, but I'm here. Yay!
Sweet.
I was like trying to just stay calm and not panic. I'm like, don't panic. You got this. So
We can bullshit for hours. You're fine. No big
And
deal.
thank you so much for inviting me. I feel really honored.
We apologize ahead of time.
Yeah. You might regret it yet. Yeah. Right. We'll see you in a sec.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, at least you let her say bye this time.
Yeah, I paused on purpose.
was
I didn't cut her off mid-flow.
So good last time, though. That was so funny.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good on you, man.
Good on you. You're a sexy motherfucker.
Yeah, you are. You're
Own
a sexy bitch, dude.
Own it.
Seriously, every time you get a haircut, I pretty much just do this show with tight pants.
True.
Can't do much about it.
Goes from 6 to midnight.
This was a fucking awesome episode, dude.
Yes, so good.
Should you make a disclaimer? Probably up front.
The disclaimer covers it because if you're upset by fruity language and stuff, then fuck you, this show isn't for you. But
Well, we're going to let you plug your stuff. So let Boz do this rollout, and then
Yeah.
we're going to ask you to plug your social media. You can plug Athena. Just do the whole shit.
Fucking internets.
I felt uncomfortable at times. Jesus Christ.
Did you?
Did you?
I did. I don't like people talking about vaginas. It's just not my thing. They make me very uncomfortable.
He's all about the D.
We're going to plug Athena's, plug your Instagram, and the time-lapse group if you
shit,
want.
she
And
fell.
oh, man, she passed
There
out.
you go. I was getting my glass. There you go.
6 feet, motherfucker!